Laura, he was in the hospital.
You know what eggshell theory means? Take your victims as you find them.
Yeah.
So even though he was screwed up already,
Well,
too bad, so sad.
Yeah, at least he could walk. But boy, he was in the hospital for 6 weeks. That's crazy. So, yeah, so John's handling that. I didn't know who was
The actual case is the eggshell rule, it's called, or it's the rule. And it was done.
You know that our reverse mortgage call yesterday? I'm doing Joan in the call here in just a few minutes.
What was the question?
I didn't
Oh,
hear
never
it.
mind.
Okay.
I know it.
Hey, Suzanne, that's Suzanne.
What does it
That's
say? Read
Karen.
it. The eggshell
She's kinda
rule
nutty.
or Finsco
Just let
rule
you know.
is a well-established legal doctrine, or what common law used in tort. And it's, I'm going to talk about it. It's good.
Tino, the Troubleshooter. Well, hello! I'm Tom Martino, your consumer advocate. That means we advocate for consumers. We're all consumers, really. Think about it, and we will help you any way we can. You will have a welcomed relief from no talk about the State of the Union other than how it affects us economically and the consumer, but I mean no political stuff. Not that I don't like politics, it's just that this show is about helping people, all the time. All you have to do is call 303-713-TALK when we're on the air, or 303 Martino, of course, works 24/7. 303 Martino. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app around the country, live on KRDO Radio in Colorado Springs, live on KHOW Radio in Denver, and you hear people all the time calling from other states and other places. That's because they're either listening to us online or heard about us or somebody knows about us. And then years ago, this show was syndicated to 200 radio stations before 9/11. And after 9/11, they decided they needed all political talk. It's a long story, and I had to slow down. So people, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. I've been doing this here in Denver nearly 40 years on radio, longer elsewhere. This is the longest running radio show currently on the air with the same host. So we recover millions of dollars over the years, millions in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. We also have referralist.com for our experts. We pull in our experts, a few at a time when we need them, whenever we get a call. We also have them come in as guests. Mark Trenner's here today, Trenner Law. He does copyright and inventions kind of, patents, patent searches, trademarks. Oh, it's one of the more popular topics. Do you know why? It represents dreams. Inventions in all creative property, what you call IP, intellectual property, attorney, intellectual property. I believe intellectual property law is so exciting and so wonderful because it represents dreams. It does. Think about it. You literally, in America, you are literally one invention, one idea away from wealth. Is there such thing as overnight success? I don't think so. I think it's overnight after a certain point. Now, Mark and I think we have something, I'm not going to mention it right now, that will make us an overnight success, but we've been working on it for 2 years. I mean, so it'll look like an overnight success. And when it comes out, I believe it'll be awesome. Mark Trenner is here. That means if you have any questions on inventions, patents, trademarks, copyrights, anything at all, give him a call. Or give us a call, 303-713-TALK. One other thing, we never limit the show to one topic, so you can call about anything. If someone lied to you, cheated you, ripped off, you want to rant about something, we'll give you uninterrupted rant. It's on-air reviews. You want to rave about someone. And as always, we try to pull in someone daily from the audience. You know, here's what I say. When you're listening to the show and you're yelling at the radio or you're saying, what the heck is that all about? This is your chance to come in the studio and do that. You can actually be what we call our common man. We pluck you from the great unwashed and bring you in here to bask in radio glory. All you have to do, two requirements, you have to be a long-time listener and you have to love and adore me. That is it, and then you get to come in here. We have Bill with us today, Bill Anthus, and he's a long-time listener. What really is cool about Bill, the connection, it's like weird. He was the president of the organization that occupied this building for many, many years. In fact, they had this building built for them, right? Bill, this building was built specifically for the college, right? You turn your mic on when you talk, and then you can turn it off. So you were an educator. This was the College for Financial Planning or something like that,
yes,
right?
College.
And you taught people how to be financial planners.
Yes.
It's still around, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And when did you retire?
Oh, I retired about 12 years ago.
What are you doing now? What did you do since retirement? Anything?
Just enjoyed myself. I still do some work for FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority.
You consult?
I consult. I do.
He's an economist.
Arbitrations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, give me an idea of an arbitration, like about investment.
A lot of consumers maybe felt they got ripped off and want to sue the firm
that they invested with.
That's right.
I heard that investor lawsuits have quadrupled recently over the last 4 or 5 years.
It's true.
And I heard that consumers are more successful than ever. Now, it used to be you hardly ever heard of people suing the investment house or the investment advisor. But they do that now.
Oh, yeah.
What would constitute guilt, in your opinion? What is guilt? I mean, can't you make the argument, look, you got all the disclosures, you know, when and how would an investment advisor be guilty of negligence?
Well, they sold them an inappropriate investment.
But what does that mean? Inappropriate. Does it mean inappropriate for me, or does it mean they knew it was a bad investment? What does it mean?
Well, it may be that the client said, I want low risk, and they put them in a high risk, and many times the clients really don't understand.
No, they don't.
They're trusting the advisor to give them the right product or the right service.
But if they put them in a high risk, and they definitely did not want a high risk, I'll bet you never heard of anyone suing when they made a ton of money.
Generally not.
No,
generally
it's always
not.
a loss that brings out the lawsuit.
Sure.
Now that is why my investment advisor, I notice, has a disclaimer, and what? No, not disclaimer, a questionnaire, long questionnaire, and says I understand my tolerance for risk to be this, and I understand I have elected to do this, and so they want to make very clear that I know where I stand.
Yeah, but you're not a typical investor.
No, not typical.
No, but anytime you open up an Ameritrade or a Schwab account, they ask those same questions along with, you know, do you know how to trade stocks? Do you know what bonds are? Do you know how to trade options? They ask you all those questions.
Right. Okay. 303-713-TALK. Barry, welcome to the show. By the way, the number 303 Martino works 24/7. If we're not here, you leave a message, and we do get back to you. Barry, what's your question for Mark Trenner, attorney at law?
Good morning.
Hey.
My question is, I live in western Kansas. My son lives in Illinois. He's a very intelligent young man, and he comes up with a lot of good inventions. He submitted one partially to this patent company or whatever.
They're usually rip-offs, but, you know.
And he paid them a little bit of money to help him, but then he couldn't go any farther with it because they wanted like around $6,000 more. And I was talking to him last night.
Well, hold on. He didn't give away his invention, right? Does he have a patent or not?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have anything. He can't really go any farther with it. But I had heard on your program different ideas, and I told him we'll make up a couple things of it and submit it. He said it's mainly for like automotive.
But he needs to get that patented because he's going to lose his right. Mark Trenner, explain how you lose your rights to patent.
Yeah, it used to be first to invent, so everybody would write down their invention and mail it back to themselves.
Which is bull, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. They changed the patent law. It's first to file now, and if you've disclosed it, you have to file within 1 year. So you really want to file as soon as possible.
Or you can never file. So if something is disclosed in the public view, and what does that mean, though, disclosure? Then the clock starts ticking 1 year from the date of disclosure, you lose your right. So what's considered disclosure?
Putting it out to the public. You take it to a trade show.
What about when he went to this company?
Facebook video.
What about this company? Is this considered disclosure?
So it depends. It could be an offer for sale if he offered to sell it to them. Or if it was all under non-disclosure agreement, he may be okay.
What if a guy showed me something years ago and he still hasn't done anything with it? I have something that a guy showed me, and I said, you got to get this patented. He never did it. Can I go and patent it?
Secret. Did he keep it secret? Did he keep it under non-disclosure agreement?
He told me.
Right.
And it wasn't a non-disclosure. He's told several people, but what's considered disclosure?
If you basically release it without any restrictions.
To how many people?
There isn't a set number, but
it would be a matter for a court to decide.
Exactly.
All right. So here's the thing, Barry. Don't tell a lot of people about this, and get going. Okay? On the outside, a patent may cost how much?
Well, to get started, you can file provisional with my law firm for about $1,500.
$1,500,
including the government fees.
And when you file, that could be if you don't have a lot of competition, or when will it get more? What makes it go more than $1,500?
So that gives you 1 year patent pending status, and I always say take that year, go out and see if there's a market for it.
And then what that means, a provisional patent means you are first, if you are first. No, what it means
is that date,
no. This is, as of this date, you are the guy. Now, you will get a patent, you're in line, unless someone else did it before you. Basically, that's what it says.
Right.
So at least it's a placeholder, and no one can steal it. Because if you tell someone about it, they can't go and get ahead of you now. Somebody who already did, it's too late, and you'll find that out. So, okay, so let's say you're coming up on a year, and you want to turn it into a regular patent. What's the process?
Yeah, we just file a regular patent application. It's more involved.
But once you do the provisional, how much more money would it be?
You're looking at about $5,000. Government fees are about
in addition to the $1,500?
Right.
Okay.
Government fees are a big chunk of that.
Now, do you have to get a provisional? Can you go right for the patent?
You can go right for the...
But it takes longer.
Well, so I always say start with the provisional, then go market it, see if there's a market. Because if there's no market, why invest in the regular patent?
Okay, 303-713-TALK. So you can actually start selling the damn thing. But what if somebody?
Right.
But do you do a patent search before the provisional patent?
I recommend it, but sometimes, like if we're coming up on that 1 year bar date, we might just skip it and file the provisional, and you can do the search.
Do most people come to market with whatever you're doing for them, or do they end up actually doing some kind of deal with a bigger company, a licensing deal?
People ask me that all the time. I always say the most successful people are the ones that are going to make it or partner with somebody that can make it and get it out into the marketplace. And if it's a big hit, the big companies will come to you then.
Yeah, it's silly for an inventor to try to control everything unless he happens to be in some kind of business to do it. That's where they fall. They won't license it. They won't let people do it. Other than a licensing agreement per item or per year or however you want to do it, what other provisions are there that
you can outright sell it.
Okay, other than selling, if you want to, a license agreement is really the only way to go, right?
Or you're just making it on your own and you want to keep people out of your space.
303-713-TALK. Barry, do you have any other question for Mark Trenner? Barry? I guess not. Okay, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, this hour is brought to you by Carpet Doctor only because I can't believe what?
Don't do a spot.
Why?
Because I've gotten 4 or 5 emails asking how it's done. I want him to come on and explain how he does it for $139.
Today?
Yeah, I just want Suzanne to get him on because no one thinks the price is so good. It's one of these too good to be true.
It really is. So I'm going to hold that. But it is. In fact, I think it's. I don't know how he can do it or if he can stay in business. But the guy is. I don't want to talk about it right now. Colorado, let's switch. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, because I have tinnitus and I have slight hearing loss and years of rock and roll drumming, yeah. And then the tinnitus came when I had an infection called mastoiditis, and it was terrible. And I went to Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing thinking there was nothing they could do, and they masked it with this item. They have this hearing device that can help mask it, and then it helps your brain forget it. And then even if you don't wear it, the tinnitus doesn't bother you as much. And then there's this permanent solution, Synchra, that I have. I haven't done it yet completely. I have the system from Colorado Tinnitus. They also have smartphone compatible hearing aids now. You really have to see them. Get an evaluation if you have a hearing problem. Okay, 303-534-0163. 534-0163. Helpforringing.com.
Was there something different?
I did
Yes, that was
I was going to tell you, and I swear to God, it's unbelievable. Out of the 15 on there, you picked out.
Well, isn't written on these guys would go really far and you have to do a search.
Yeah, I was.
And it's so scripted.
I always say start with search, but like.
Yeah, so
I've literally got emails going, how's that possible? And I want him to answer, how is he doing? I really want to ask him how he does it, because I have gotten 3 or 4 emails in the last 3 days. Is this real? How can you do it? Most people do 3 rooms for $139, and it turns out to be $800 for the house. It's one of these things. They think there's something up.
Sometimes he goes over, and then sometimes they get what I call a hard break, and what the music automatically starts going on.
So you know it. Right on this.
Actually, that's what I was finding is they were doing something wrong. And he said, I copied off that one, and they wasted so much time.
Yeah.
But they do have like hard ones and stuff with music, especially if it's something like news coming on.
500
He's
exactly.
deputy
God,
co-host.
they have that prototype.
He's deputy, so he's a
The other thing I noticed is that women patents were really simple devices. And men's were sometimes way over complex. Yes, in what they did.
And it doesn't mean one's better.
This red ceiling, you know, when it snaps together, there's no way to get back on it. It's a double latch thing, so it locks over each other. And it's a little locks them. And the guys who run computer cables will all want to make a big deal cables alongside that. And you have to all redo it. And so it's sold in the trades really well. And then the lady who does the snapbagger.
Yeah, we're all here on strictly this. March comes on earlier with
Fidgety.
that's just like a.
Why don't you get one of those fidgets?
Update, so you want them here.
Yeah, but it's my mouth that needs fidget. Oh.
And it was a small snapbagger. Simple. I take a perfect smoke.
Did you ever smoke?
You must have been.
When I was a kid, I tried it.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't smoke for any period of time. Did your mom, dad? Well, I don't know.
Since you got out of it, it's kind of funny.
How about your brother?
Was scared to death. The ones older one did. But they both did it about 2 years.
But they all quit.
But the older one never walked the table.
Within an hour.
You know what?
The older ones,
She really ill.
Yeah, she did well.
And he's out of prison. You know that. It's student loans.
Some of these guys come, some of these guys, you do a NDA and they,
student loans because
I'm
when
trying to get
all those people come,
I got my boss right for you.
tell me anything.
Yeah.
And these
You know, they're so secretive, it's like, I can't tell you unless you
I
let me
didn't,
know.
don't you think tuition gets
Just be a right, you got a non-disclosure agreement.
Horse race.
I mean, I just like say.
Yeah, well, I was getting them before that, so they were being very
I'll come out of school unless you're a
Any of
doctor
those
or
convention
something
submission
with over
corporations.
100 grand in loans. That's not everybody. But even 50 grand is a whole thing.
Invention Society people have
I
either.
graduated. Another guy had.
They want more money, but they haven't done it.
They've either already lost their money or nothing happened. Yeah.
I was here.
15 years, 27 years, whatever the term they'll do.
They sure are the hell out of it.
I really do.
Big expensive.
And they can't get out of their bankruptcy and stuff, or, I mean, that's like a neck tattoo.
What's the one that shows the
And then,
and then they're trying to buy a house.
and then,
Yeah.
and like I say, universities look at everything.
89 plus parts or trades.
You know, books.
More than just trade. You get a complete.
Nowadays, you're trying to
Oh, yeah, books.
You got books.
Did you get a kickback from
Those
books?
come under copyright or.
Do any of them now think you get a kickback from the book? There's an awful lot of,
They don't necessarily have the books today.
not as many, they still have them.
That's right, sure. But they've gone up phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, I used to teach economics. The book was maybe $19 or so today. It's $49.59.
Didn't you
Get my new,
economic book for
That's the name of the guy.
5, 10 years?
Well, different editions. Because they also figure out to.
Right.
Okay, guys.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. We were talking about carpet doctors. And Mike is on the phone right now. Mark said, don't do his commercial because I want to talk to him, and just because we've gotten emails, and I'll tell you why. It does sound like a scam, okay? It does, and I don't, but it's not. And in fact, here's what I thought. Is Mike not smart? Is he like just starting out? He's not smart, and he just wants to get business, and he doesn't know how to do math. And then I met him.
This is some commercial.
No, this is so serious. You heard me down when he was in our office, and then I talked to him. He obviously is intelligent. He's a businessman, and he's making money, but I don't know how. And I'll bet you every carpet cleaner in the world is wondering how. In fact, it's almost like they might want to say there's got to be a law against it, because here's why. When he charges for his carpet cleaning, it's one price, okay? So you don't have to worry about pre-treating, extra charges, or any kind of upselling. Or oh, by the way, you have a staircase, it's going to be this much extra. He doesn't say 3 rooms for X. What he says is this: I will come to your house and clean it for $139. Now, Mark said, wait a minute, I have a big house. He says, oh, it's okay. Then I said, well, what if someone has a smaller house? $139. And I said, well, how can that be? He said, because if you average it all out, I make money. And I said, but how? You have, I mean, even a regular carpet cleaning company going to a small house would charge more than $139. So why don't you charge 2 charges for large over a certain scale? He said, no, this works out better. Now listen, he's been in business. Mike, how long have you been in business?
1994.
1990. So it's obviously working, and you're obviously not stupid. Mike, I laugh about it. You must have people say the same thing. I mean, when you go to business groups and stuff, we have an economist in the studio today, retired, and he's probably thinking, I don't know, do the average. But 139 on its own, people might think you're not going to do a good job. You can't possibly. You're going to run in there with some little tiny unit and run out. Mark, you had it done.
Oh, it's a big, gigantic, truck-mounted hot water extraction that's brand new. He just dropped $100,000 on it.
And he did a thorough job.
Oh, my God. Just as good as how much, I don't even want to ask Suzanne, but we paid over $750 this time last year.
I know you did.
With a different guy.
Then this guy is charging $139. So, Mike, if this system works, can it work with an employee? If it was more, because don't you do every job by yourself?
Yes, it would be very hard to do it with an employee.
Okay, so at some point, if you have to stop taking customers, right? I mean, at $139, what do you find yourself doing, like booking ahead, right?
Yes, during the summer, I am booked out about a month or 2.
Are people willing to wait?
Usually my customers call me, so they schedule at the right time. But I'm able to get people in. I work 7 days a week.
You work 7 days a week, and you personally go out and do the job for $139. Have you ever pulled up to a house and said, oh, God?
Probably mine.
Yes, but it doesn't matter. If you average the price of the advertising for the referrals that I get from one customer, I usually get 2 or 3 referrals. So you're making money in the long term, not just off that one customer.
I can't believe this. So you get referrals, plus you get your share of small houses? I mean, I don't know. Like, do you? I mean, $139, I just don't even understand it. You got gas getting there. You got the operation of the machine. I mean, are most homes control? I mean, I guess when you get regular customers, it's probably, I bet you people have you twice a year.
And that's the other thing. Most customers, let's say like Mark was talking about with the $700, he's cleaning once every year or 2. I'm usually in somebody's house twice a year. Again, getting more referrals.
But here's another thing, okay? I've seen in these flyers, 3 rooms for, $79. And I have never once heard of anyone spending $79 or ever getting what supposedly are 3 rooms.
In 3 rooms, usually they have a square footage restriction. And the square footage restriction is much lower than the 3 rooms anyways. And that's when they're going to upsell you.
All right,
That's
so the
why I do not upsell.
The carpet doctor does not upsell. What if I begged you to? What if I said, Mike, I would like you to do pre-treating, or I'd like you to do, I don't know, Scotch Guard or whatever. You don't do it.
Pre-treating is all included. All the spots are included. Scotch Guard is not, and that is something if somebody does ask me directly, I can do, yes.
But you don't ever bring it up?
No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I get more
I didn't even know he did it till you just asked.
Hold on. What, Mike?
I get more referrals from not being in that company that comes in that they have to be scared of that you're going to upsell.
Okay.
I have customers tell me all the time that.
I fear that you'll just take the capacity and that's it. You'll just be at capacity. And
I used to have 6 trucks, by the way.
I've
scaled down.
You understand, with employees, with your profit margins and the way you operate, you probably could do it if you added vans for a little more, and you'd still be. Do you realize for $249 you'd still be under the market?
Yes, but then I'd be taking away from my business model, and that I just don't want to do.
God, there's got to be a way to expand it, though, the way you do it. I'm serious. If you found a secret here, it's unheard of, Mike. Really, it is. And you know, I shouldn't say this because you're a sponsor. I don't know why you're advertising.
You know,
I don't know why you're advertising.
I don't have to do a lot of advertising.
No.
So yeah. I don't do a lot of advertising. I don't need to.
Right. I guess you don't. And we're happy to have you. Trust me, on the referral list at referralist.com. Carpet Doctor, folks, I don't know. I mean, people have called us raving about the guy. 720-298-0352. 720-298-0352. Nick has a question for our guest, Mark Trenner. Go ahead, Nick. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's going on with you, Nick?
Hey, so I'm in the middle of ramping up a new product, and I was wondering if I should go ahead and do my provisional application on my own or hire an attorney to help me.
All right, Mark. Mark Trenner, how hard is it?
It's really tricky. The problem is that
why is it tricky?
If you leave anything out, you don't get credit for it. It's as if you didn't file. And then if you go beyond the 1 year from disclosure, it's public domain. So it's really, I mean, you really need to work on it carefully, make sure you didn't miss anything. And that's where, at least when you work with my law firm, we do a lot back and forth. I have initial questions I ask you to help you think about different areas and how competitors might see it so that you protect more than just your specific device. And then I prepare a draft, you read through it, make sure that you're on board with everything. If there's anything else, we do a couple cycles, make sure everything's in there.
Okay. We got disconnected from him. I wanted to ask
I did a provisional myself. It took me 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks worth of work, yes.
Yeah. And unless it's challenged, you don't know how good it is. Right?
No.
And did you turn it into a regular patent?
No. It was one that we just, it didn't market.
You let it go?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other patents?
I got the provisional and the gas gun, but
you didn't convert that?
No, that's not been converted, and we're running out of time on it.
Okay, so Nick, what area of industry is this invention?
This is for the ski industry.
Okay, and any other questions from Mark Trenner?
Basically, I'd just like to get some more information from him then, because I'm.
He said it's about $1,500 for a provisional patent,
and that includes the government fee.
Does it include a patent search or not?
No, that would be extra.
Because you don't have to do a search until you want to go for your permanent.
That's right.
So Nick, here's his number. Okay, it's 720-221-3708. Okay.
I'd just also say that the government paperwork that goes along with actual filing is complicated. I have a paralegal that's all she does. And if you make a mistake on that, the patent office can kick it back and you can end up losing rights or paying additional government fees if you don't get it right the first time.
Holy crap. Okay, Jill. Hi, Jill. She got disconnected. Jill, if this happened, I don't know why. I think she was fumbling with the phone. Jill, you'll get through right now. We have lines open. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay, you'll get through. And 303-MARTINO, you almost always get through. 303-627-8466. I'm still astounded by Carpet Doctor, but here's another guy that kind of astounds me a bit. You know who I'm going to say, Mark. Buddy Mitchell. We love helping to build great businesses. Buddy Mitchell is a sole proprietor. He owns Simply Floors, Inc., and it's a corporation, Simply Floors, but it's him and a few people, and of course his installation crews. But for sales, you go on his website, you make your own appointment. Then he or his staff go to see you, and they also provide designer services for your home, not just the floor coverings. And you can go to 52nd and Ward if you want to see the stuff, or they bring samples with them. But they have a warehouse at 52nd and Ward. Now, he's a one-man, when I say one-man owner, and he runs this place and competes with the big mill outlets and exchanges and big boxes and all of that, okay? And all of the big imperial empires. He will deal with them, and he will deal with you and save you like 30-40% above less than them. You know why? Because he's making less profit again, and he's working off of a smaller profit margin, but he has the same buying power because he's part of an independent group. Here's the bottom line. You get the same beautiful floor coverings, all of them, hardwoods, laminates, luxury vinyl tiles, waterproof carpeting, regular carpeting, and you get his personalized service, design services, all for less. SimplyFloorsInc.com.
Next time in, it's not till
Hi,
March,
it's-
right? Well, that's what somebody told me, that you can go to the searches and you get all this help on YouTube.
Yeah, but when's he booked? Is it the 14th?
No.
Has just shot at 1,000.
Then I got stubborn, I got halfway in it.
No, we can go 8 weeks or so. I'm going to tell him it's going to be March. He does not need to be in every month.
Well, yeah, we don't.
We did them all.
We went through that, Suzanne, that not everyone comes in monthly. We just can't do it. And I'm not going
No, she knows that.
Yeah.
Buddy Mitchell's wife. Buddy Mitchell.
So what happened
You and I go through, you and I know that, yeah.
Charles,
Yeah.
so I had
24/7.
the client in January, and I scheduled them for mid-March. They said, what about our February date? So I said to Mark, you need to answer that.
Okay,
So-
Mark, can I answer?
No, I know. I've watched your answer 10 times.
Okay, good.
I am
Because here's the
ready
deal.
for Vegas.
Guys, we have to manage expectations.
Yeah, I
all
just
the
don't
time.
know how to answer that.
There are
stuff, Tom.
attorneys that need to be in monthly because they're topic.
Yeah,
But there are certainly areas of industry we don't need a monthly
Right.
show. Okay.
right, especially we get him on his expert.
Plus,
all
we're
the time.
talking about, with Mitchell, we're talking about him 3 or 4 times every week anyhow in spots.
But here's the thing: we wouldn't have a show if we had everyone.
No.
I'll try her again.
Attorneys are the only exception, in my opinion. Except for
If
like
their
patent guys.
If their area of law is compelling and interesting, but I wouldn't bring in an attorney on
Like
I'll
Medicaid.
try her again.
or whatever, Social
Are
Security,
you serious?
disability law.
Would it make good radio?
Although that's an area that you also can't do by yourself.
But it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
If she doesn't, if I don't hear her today, I'll try her one more
I'm
time.
talking
I'll
about my
throw her
audience.
tomorrow's
Yeah.
calendar for you guys.
If I don't have an audience, I have nothing. Everything else goes away.
When it all comes down to it, it's still entertainment.
Mark, unfortunately, I mean, you're absolutely right, by the way. You're right.
That's why I love the whack calls.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's the case.
Is it an iPhone?
No, it's just the case. I mean, it's
Where'd you get it?
Check it out.
I want it.
All that holds it.
Huh?
You put cash in your case, so you don't need a wallet, you say.
Yeah, you can put,
But look what
I've always been looking for something like that.
I'm
broke
going to let you
broke.
fix it.
It's broke.
Would you tell me what this
Piece of junk?
What is this thing for? It's a see-through. What is this? Like a money clip for dollars? It goes through.
No, it's the whole
But
for
then
selfies.
this is a pocket.
Yeah,
That's
that's how,
the
that's
whole
what I
for
would like.
selfies.
Something
You
like
like
that.
it? I like
That
that.
knob,
Except the
I didn't
little-
actually break it, did I?
it's like the
That's the
knob.
only.
it's actually nice.
No, it's not.
Mark broke it.
Utility. They need a better utility patent.
This is where they sell more of them.
Stuff in there, so
Yeah.
wallet.
I need to know what I should do.
No, I popped it off once too.
My,
I didn't know
I don't think I got any with me, but I have business cards that are aluminum, and they can't get bent. That
I don't have one. Let's get credit card driver's license done with that.
Boing's doing today? Oh, that's really cool.
What is?
Boing.
What is that?
The company?
Is your phone
Aircraft?
Yeah, why?
Boing.
Why?
It's up 5.5%.
Oh, it is.
$18. I have no
You can
idea.
get it for.
You can get it for
You do stocks? Yeah, that's Samsung.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy
same size.
cow. Boeing and Amazon are just gonna run.
I think I'm gonna do that.
A client of mine actually came in and had it, and I said, where'd you get that? I want Boeing.
Well,
You put that one on Amazon.
I've had 6. If you ever have one back surgery, I've had 6. They tell you to never sit on your wallet.
I know, yeah.
And,
Well, I don't even carry one now because I have my credit card and my driver's
yeah, I was
license.
gonna say, I don't carry money.
And I actually put cash in there before I put it on the phone, but I've got cash in there.
All right, where'd you get that?
Ask him today, you wondered if you could cover for him, but could he come on tomorrow instead?
Of course.
Okay, Still waiting to hear from Frank.
Make those decisions, by the way, on that.
All right.
Yeah, my wallet's sitting down in my car because I don't want to carry it. Like, I keep thinking we're heading toward a purse, but not when they do that.
So I have the Samsung Pay on here, so I have all my credit cards on.
Yeah.
But not everybody will take it.
Oh, I do that all the time. Wallet.
Yeah, I like that. But like gas stations don't take it. So.
You know, but more and more are taking
When
it.
I
You
was
know that.
first coming out of the well, at the gas station, you still have to
They
swipe
stuck
a
me
physical
in
card.
company.
My
first
office.
Yeah.
So that's where this
21-year-old
comes in.
kid.
So then I've got my physical credit
Server,
card there.
stocks.
What was it? Something, yes, pumps have that
Mine?
scanner
Southern
on
Company.
scan.
Utilities.
Like
You know,
your
I should have done something like
Yeah.
IBM.
I wonder if they scan.
They won't take
What's that phone number?
the pay.
We're out. It won't be
Yeah,
very
that-
long. They do.
Hi, Tom Martino here, and it seems like our theme is saving money. We talked about, the carpet cleaning place for $139, and we talked about the, Simply Floors Inc., and now we can tell you about Art of Granite. Now, here's what all my companies have a niche that I think is wonderful. You know what it is for Art of Granite? They give prices on the phone. Think about that. They don't have to come in and sit down and oversell you. That's when they want to come in and they have to meet with you. It's usually because they want to explain why they're charging so much. Art of Granite, if you take a photo and give him some measurements, you call him and he'll tell you how to email all that. He'll give you a price, and it's pretty close to what the final price is. Now, it's going to vary when you go to a showroom in Golden to pick out the specific stuff. To make a long story short, he'll give you a price, and it's within hundreds of dollars. If you like it, it's 1 to 4 weeks, and you're done. He has a small markup on cabinets, straight wholesale on the granite or any kind of counter material. He only charges for fabrication installation. He does free in the bathroom, whatever you do in the kitchen at the same time. And then also, he tears out and hauls away everything free. 7 days a week he's open. Metro, Denver, and Mountain communities are covered. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. artofgranite.net. Jill, you're back. Go ahead. Jill, what's happening?
Thank you, Tom. If I were to sell my house without a realtor, what process would you recommend?
Well, it's here's the thing I want to tell you about that. If you try to sell it without a realtor, you're going to cut yourself out of a giant piece of the market and almost always make less than if you use a good realtor. The reason I'm saying that is because when you sell it by yourself, you're still going to have real estate people who have buyers, and they won't bring them to you unless you'll pay a co-op. And a co-op is... Go ahead.
We have a buyer already.
Now, that's different. I was just going to ask you. When you have... that's what I was going to say. When you have your buyer, or you know a group of buyers, or there are certain circumstances where you want to do it yourself, what you get is what's called a transaction broker, or you can simply go to a title company or an attorney. An attorney can be very inexpensive because all you're asking the attorney to do is represent the transaction. An attorney is very reluctant when there are two clients. So he would want to pick one or the other. Usually, the title company is good, but they won't do everything necessarily. So a transaction broker is what I like. That is where you have a buyer and a seller who agree to use someone like Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. Now, he might be too swamped to do it, but I think he has someone in his office who can be a transaction broker, where
Okay.
he agrees, you guys have come up with your own price, with everything, and all the terms, and all he does is what's called the limited practice of law, which is allowed in Colorado for real estate brokers, a limited practice of law, where they can draw up the contract, and they can oversee it, and they can take you to a title company and walk you through everything. That's what I would do. And you can usually do those for a $500, $1,000, depending on how hard it is.
Okay.
So,
All right, well, thank you very much.
and I would definitely use, at least call him. He may not be able to do it, frankly, but I'd call Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622, 920-1622. But Frank more than earns his money. You know, people don't understand. A lot of marketing, when you have a bad real estate person, or not even bad, let's just say they're regular. They put a sign on the lawn, they go into multi-list and wait for people to come to them. That's how they sell homes. You know, and then they brag about it. Selling a home is you sell it. Ask a real estate person, statistically, how many of their own listings did they actually sell directly, not with another agent? You will find hardly any. And then ask, how many did you outbound market? They did not come through another real estate person. Now, they may have a real estate person involved, but how many did you actually get? And that's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Okay, Mark has a question for Mark Trenner. Hello, Mark. What's happening?
Good morning. Mark, I've been working on a product for the last 9 months or so, and all the conceptual prototypes, at least for the initial round, are completed, and so I'm ready to do some focus group work as well as consult with a design and manufacturing engineer and maybe like a board of advisors.
Do you have a patent yet?
No, I'm getting to that.
Well, because if you have this group, this focus group, it's a public disclosure.
I understand
okay.
that. So if I go and meet with each merchant, let's say, in the focus group, and have them sign an NDA, is it irrelevant if I have them sign an NDA and have the design engineer sign an NDA and then go for a provisional patent, or the other way around, get a provisional patent, then do the focus group work and still have them sign an NDA? Does it matter the order of the NDA and then patent, or patent and NDA?
That's a good question, but I have one first. It's a very basic. If he gets an NDA, does it not start ticking the clock?
That's right. Under NDA, it's not a public disclosure, but it doesn't get you first to file.
It doesn't. No, somebody else could still
file.
So
I always recommend doing the provisional first.
Before any of this?
Right.
Mark, does the provisional cover the conceptual design as well as the actual item?
So you can't use it for a design, as in what you'd apply for a design patent, but it would cover every utilitarian aspect of what you disclose.
Now, why can't you do the design?
Design, you just have to file a design patent. So a design is for what it looks like, strictly what it looks like, regardless of how it functions.
Like a Coke machine or a soda dispensing machine.
Yeah.
No, a soda dispensing machine. The way it looks is one thing,
That's
and
right.
the way it functions is another.
That's right.
And so, can you have a functionality or utilitarian patent for that machine and not a design patent?
You can.
Well, then
so
what?
you can pick one or the other, or do both.
Well, okay. Are there things where there are no utility patents and the only thing you get is design?
Yeah, tire treads.
Okay.
You have Goodrich, Goodyear, whoever.
If I don't have a design patent, but I have a utility patent, what do I do? Just make it the way I want it?
If you have a utility patent?
Right, for a soda machine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
As long as I don't violate another design?
Right.
Even if the function is different, if the design is the same, I can violate a design?
Yeah, okay. You can.
Anyway, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
So I guess what exactly does the provisional patent cover?
It would cover all the utility aspects of it, so how it functions, working components, that sort of thing. The design covers what it looks like. So
what if the design is so, we got to answer this when we come back, and I'll let you come back, Mark. What if the design is so unique and so important, he wants to protect that? We'll talk about that, because that, I believe, could be a case in many instances. Centeno Schultz for stem cell therapy is who I recommend when people say I have a sore arm, shoulder, I need an Achilles, I need an ACL tear repaired. They have done that. They're the first clinic to do stem cell therapy in America. They have stats to prove it. They have 14,000 patients in their data bank that they have done successful stem cells with. They would love to talk to you. The great thing about this place with doctors, real MDs, and real living stem cells, unlike chiropractic offices that have fluids shipped in, when they do this, they evaluate you, and you may not be a candidate for stem cell therapy, and they're not going to push it on you. They have other modalities available, like PRP or other things. Call them for an evaluation before you do anything with surgery. At least find out about your hip, back, shoulder, knees, hands, whatever. 303-963-9202. They do guided imagery. They harvest stem cells right there from you. 303-963-9201.
Okay, well then I changed it. Good, I got it. It's Centeno Schultz.
The highway drive is about as wide open as you can get in the metro area on the freeway.
If I ever make a mistake like that, though, do me a favor, and you're allowed, I would actually, if I do a wrong number or something critical like that, Mark or you, just actually literally turn on the mic and say, oh, because that is like a fun thing, and then I'll correct it right then. It would be pretty cool.
You won't make fun of us?
No. No.
If he says the correct number, can we do it too?
On the FDA's,
Is there a real
have you ever had any cases where even though right now somebody else got hold of it or got hold of the stuff and jumped there? I mean, I have, the people are real paranoid about them, and I don't know if there's a reason.
About NDAs?
Yeah, about being, when I was trying to help.
Well, some of them are not written properly, and it makes it sound like no matter what, you're done. And one guy wanted me to sign something saying that I could never disclose something and I can never do anything with it. And I said, what if someone else comes to me with something and it's not you, and you didn't patent this thing?
Those are usually going to be invalid for overly broad. They usually have to have some reasonable terms, like you agree not to disclose it for 2 years.
The Colorado Inventor Society had a form.
It's just like non-compete for employees.
Right. But I had, it was a big sticking point. I signed the thing, and then they still didn't want to tell you anything. I don't know if is that typical.
That's why I always say, just file the provisional, and then you can post YouTube videos. Yeah, you can do whatever you want then. And then people file provisionals and they still want an NDA, and they just put it out there now.
That Inventor Society, though, is mostly full of really whacks. They're people who patent.
I always say the longer you keep it the secret, it's not going to make it to market. So
Yeah.
file the provisional and get it in the market, see if people like it.
Well, you can't get a prototype built properly if they're trying to be so secretive about it until,
Well, because if you put it out and nobody likes it, there's no point protecting it anyway.
That's exactly what happened. Well, it wasn't that nobody liked it. The kickstand thing, we can't market to the motorcycle shops. Will not take anything that doesn't have product
liability.
Yeah, and it was for race dirt bikes, which fall down all the time. So if the kickstand failed, it wouldn't be a big deal. But they kept saying they kept looking at the average motorcycle fall over, crotch rock or Harley falls over. It is expensive, but this doesn't fit them. But we could never work. We could never get around that facet of it.
Well, yeah, and so if that happens, why bother?
Yeah,
if you can't sell it, there's no point in protecting it.
I like the rug doctor guy. That was a good, good interview that you did there. That really was.
He may be too.
And he's a hard worker. Man, that guy goes in there and he doesn't stop.
Yeah, he may be just one of those guys that lives a real modest lifestyle too. I know somebody like that.
But he doesn't move furniture. That's one thing. So which a lot of them don't. Oh, they do it if they pay extra.
You can check them out at this week's free half-day class, and you'll see
Doesn't mess around.
So that's just these two cameras?
Nope. That that and this one. So that's yours. That's yours.
Okay.
And that's also got the audio during the break.
Okay.
So, you know, when you talk, you can see what, I say, here's you, if you want to look at it. I've never showed you this before, Mark?
Yeah, I think you did.
And there's a little time, so you just walked over here, so that's where you sit right there. And that's the banner that comes up when you talk. Oh, you do? Yeah, send that to me.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
My sister sits in her office during lunch because she closes for an hour at lunch, and always does the live video on the on her computer there.
Tell YouTube. YouTube is actually better, clearer.
That's what she do. Well, she does the YouTube.
So does it record on it?
Yes, YouTube
and go back and watch.
Yep. YouTube's actually better because we're not so bad now and stuff. We used to go down, but when we went down, Facebook starts another file. YouTube just continues it.
Oh, okay.
So you just have a break.
So you just have one big.
Yes.
So can you find individual episodes?
Yep.
There. How far back do they go? They look like they
Well,
went
we
back a
only
long
started
way.
since we started about a year. There should be a way that we categorize them, either by date, subject, or whatever. But I do just for. This is what I do for, because I got to make up thing. So I go, it's patent, copyright, trademark day. And then this actually goes into iHeart. And then I put a little blurb of, what other people are, subjects that people are talking about.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Joe Lazara is a criminal defense attorney. I hope you never need him. So forget about it.
Listen, people get in trouble all the time. We've had people innocently, and I mean innocently, arrested for shoplifting, for doing things that were so silly they didn't mean to do, like inadvertently having something that was in their pocket. Really, they didn't mean to. For example, one person had a lipstick they were returning to a store in their pocket. They were going to go find another lipstick, and then they were going to take it back to the counter and exchange it. But the guy saw them with the original lipstick in the pocket, and she said, well, I was going to exchange this for another one. And she had a receipt. And the guy accused her, the security guy, accused her of bringing in an old receipt in order to steal a new product. It was ridiculous. Anyway,
I remember that.
Joe Lazara is a great guy, and he unfortunately, one of his most of the time he deals with DUIs, and those are easy to prevent. You know how? Don't drink and drive. Ta-da! Here's another deal. Uber, Lyft, designated drivers. But no matter what, guilty, innocent, you made a stupid mistake, or you're an alcoholic, which means you need help. We'll talk about that later. Joe Lazara, 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Remember Joe Lazara on my referral list at referralist.com. Kathy, I've noticed you've been on here, and I didn't take you up front, and you've been holding the longest, and this topic is very weird. People call. We've had this before, where people call and they don't know what to do. We have had some really good results. Explain what's going on, Kathy. If she's there, she may not be there. It's too bad. Well, I'm going to put her on hold just in case she
reminded me of that one grandmother that called up.
Oh my God! And the kid got on the phone with her, Mark.
It was crazy.
Well, let's say Kathy was calling about an out of control 17-year-old.
That's even harder, because that one with the grandmother, I think he was at least over 18. I mean, when the kid's 17, you still have a legal responsibility.
But there are things you can do in the 17th year easier than if they're way younger. We'll talk, Kathy, if you want to call back, 303-713-TALK. I'm Tom Martino. We have another hour to go. Stick around for exciting radio. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino for Larson Tax Relief. I've been fighting for consumers more than 30 years in all areas of business, except when it comes to the IRS. I refer them to Larson Tax Relief. If you owe back taxes, if it's been years since you filed, these guys are the best. They're smart, they have a fantastic team of experts, and will understand your situation. Their name says it all. Larson Tax Relief. Relief from your tax debt problems. Larson will get you the absolutely best possible resolution. You won't have to worry about your wages being garnished or losing your house.
If someone else can.
She's got a counselor.
Is it a girl?
Yeah. And it definitely says it's not drugs.
Threatened to send her to Saudi Arabia.
She wanted to put her in a boot camp thing, but they're so
13 to
expensive.
17-year-old girls are tough.
We had a friend send their 17-year-old girl. She was a very cute girl too. I mean, just really nice. When they were friends of the family, when she was around us and our kids, of course, she was always sweet, but she was hell on wheels somewhere else. Sent her to a place in Canada for a month, a full month. I hate to use the word fixed, but it fixed her. I'm telling you, this was 10, 15 years ago.
How long was the program?
It was either 30 or 60 days.
Is it outward bound?
How long was Sharon's kid in that thing in Canada?
Was that Hurricane Island outward bound?
Oh, yeah, like 2-3 months.
Holy cow.
Could have been outward. Was it outward bound? Because they have a.
That's not a long time mark for behavioral change.
Well, I tell you, she came back. She graduated school. Since then, you know, that she was 17 at the time. She got married around 25. She's probably around 30 now. She married an officer in the Air Force. They live in Germany. I mean, I'm telling you, she.
We had 3 teenage girls live with us.
You went. You had a different one, but
I had a different responsibility.
Everything doesn't satisfy everybody. Every program doesn't satisfy
5 kids, 16
You know what, though?
grandkids, 2 great-grandkids.
I embraced it the first 6 months and loved it.
You were in there 6 months?
3.
I was in there almost a year.
And then
holy cow, I didn't know.
I went AWOL about 3 months
3
before
great-grandkids, but
the end of the year.
over the years we've had 3.
No, I embraced it the first 4 or 5 months, actually. Embraced it. I had great grades every
Should
day.
you have to drive
And
to
then I
school every
really
day,
don't
pick them
remember
up?
what.
Turn
I don't remember why I flew off the tracks. I was probably bored. Honestly, I'd get to a certain place, I'd be bored, then I'd fly off the track. So, I mean, I still do that in my life. I just learned how to control it.
But she was fine to this one, Kathy. The siblings were okay. She actually has a twin. Good, okay with the siblings. It's just that she said that she would punch the mother or push her dad. Or
that's a whole different.
She would actually get violent with them. But she would do okay in school.
God, violent. See, I was never violent.
Google CHINS to see if that program still exists.
What are you looking at for?
CHINS, Child in Need of Supervision, is something I think.
But see, they know about it. They just can't afford some of these.
No, I think this is done by social
Chin
services.
strap?
No, CHINS. Called Children in Need of Supervision. I think it was through social
In need of
services.
services?
Could be.
But you got to be, like, say, someone's going to have to pay
CHINS.
for it. I mean, you might say that, but they probably can't qualify
It's
for
beyond
it.
it's beyond the control of the parent. Has exhibited behavior. Okay, is this a?
But like I said, I mean, these programs do exist.
I know, but these are county. They're not.
But you got to have a certain economic.
I don't think so. These are through the Department of General through.
Well, that's Kitsap County. I don't know where the hell that's at.
That is either, but I know CHINS was in Jefferson County. Because a lot of times the police recommend that when they have a kid out of control.
You doing anything for the Super Bowl, Tommy?
I have my kids, and we're just us.
So I mean, you can go to the Department of Human Services.
I'll be in Vegas. Yeah,
That's right.
We're out of here, man. We got to leave. Our damn flight is at 6:15. We got to leave
I wish I
Franktown
knew
like at
someone
4
with
a.m.
kids doing something.
How about Jay? See if he's doing
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. I don't know how to ask him. You're right.
You should text him, man.
You're right. That's a great idea. Those kids have grown up together.
Maybe he's going up to Winter Park.
I bet he does. I bet a lot of people do that. They'll go out skiing, come back to Super Bowl.
I forgot it's skiing season.
And he's a huge skier, boy.
Mark, do you ski?
Well, mainly as kids.
Yeah, ski and snowboard. I just got back from Steamboat. We were up there last week. Had a little bit of snow, but not too much.
Really? So, hey, how's the beetle up there? Can you really see where
that ugly,
really
terrible? But they're so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, there's
They're
no
so.
winter.
I mean, the
all
trees.
the trees already dropped.
You're talking about the beetle kill?
I know by Graham.
Some areas
Because
are so
I
bad.
thought that's the first place where beetles actually started.
Well, more down by Graham.
Oh, really? Okay.
The beams, yeah.
and all that.
But what, there's a whole lot of
just
stuff
the way
that I've
it
seen.
looks is kind of like,
Yeah.
That they're,
you know, pleasing, you know, they have a.
Is it a condo? With
No,
some-
it's just a house.
Oh, yeah, why did they do the low ceilings?
No, that's just an old house.
Yeah.
You know, 9.
I thought it had something above it or below it, that's why it was that way, but yeah,
Oh, no,
it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean,
No, it's
pretty.
pretty well appointed. You know,
I haven't
I
been
don't-
skiing
I don't
in
care
years,
for that
man.
style, like,
I skied more when I didn't live here than when I lived here. Isn't that bizarre?
There's nothing what style is it really? I mean, very pleasing, right? It's just old, seamless.
yeah.
Just old.
So I got a
Beautiful lot.
two-stage modulated 120 BTU furnace being installed right now with a steamer. So instead of a humidifier, it's this big thing that pumps steam into the system. My house can get up, well, apparently it can get up to 50% humidity if I want.
It's just amazing.
40% comfortable.
I would kill for 40%. Oh my God, I'd kill for it. It is so dry this year.
First house ever built
I
down
did,
in
but
Columbine.
this, our new house had one on there, but it's been
About
broke.
$65,000 built in early
Yeah, that's how the steamer is. That's what the steamer does, but I use the steam instead.
University, I don't go
But the modulator,
go Dahlia.
so basically the burners are on almost all the time, but they can go from 2% up to 96%. So the things like 98%
So it
efficient.
is before I
The
get.
fan
So
also
then I turn off
can go
to get to this place.
from like 5% to 100%.
Shooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. This hour brought to you by Fix It 24/7. Wow, I don't even know where to begin with Fix It 24/7. They have done work for me, superb work, and the cold weather is coming. So here is an offer that I can't stress enough. We've been talking to you about all kinds of extraordinary deals. This one is too. Now, this is not the normal price, but they've been doing it for my listeners only. A $39 furnace tune-up. Before you say, oh, Tom, they just want to come in and find something wrong. No, here, you will not believe the level of service. It's the royal treatment. They will come in for $39 and basically disassemble the furnace where they can, okay? Now, I'm not talking about, like ruining it. They take it apart and clean all the separate components inside the cabinet. They lubricate. They change the filter. They adjust the flames. They take care of the thermostat. They check it. They re-secure all your connections. They spend a long time in your home, and you're going to think, okay, what's the gimmick? These guys will make that furnace look and sound and operate like new. That's a $39 furnace check. If they find anything, there is no pressure. They will give you a full written estimate. But for $39, they will tune up and clean and guarantee a no breakdown during this winter season. In writing, they give you a guarantee and they'll refund every dime. That's Fix It 24/7. $39, normally $139. Even at $139, I am telling you this is a great deal, but it's $39 for Martino listeners. When you see what they do, you'll know. They'll show you each and every component. And with the degreasers and the cleaning that they do, your furnace will look and operate like new, unless, of course, it has a major problem. Fix It 24/7. 720-526-3939. That's 720-526-3939. And listen to this website, probably the best website I've ever heard of as far as names. Ready? FixMyHome.com. Now, how the heck did he get that? FixMyHome.com. Let's talk. 303-713-TALK. You got a problem, question, or complaint? Call us. We have Mark Trenner, attorney at law, who does intellectual property, answering questions about trademarks and patent searches and patents and copyrights, although mostly it's been about inventions today. I love intellectual property because it represents your dreams. Bill Anthus has come in, a longtime listener, as a common man. As we say, we never have really common men. He's an economist, semi-retired. And Bill, in the economy, would you say that the economy has a lot to do with psychology on how it thrives?
Oh, yeah. No two ways about it.
Feelings.
Yeah. You feel good, invest more, Yeah.
And if you look at a cycle for recession, the last recession was so odd when you looked at how it happened. Things were going great. We had 4% unemployment. We had wonderful, everyone was at work. They were trying to hire more. And something odd happened. People started, they couldn't get the workers they wanted. So they had to hire for more money, and they had to charge a bit more. And then what really, really happened was people started they didn't stop buying, they delayed a bit. They would say, wait a minute, we can't buy this right now. Let's just wait and see what happens, because things started slowing down because it was buzzing so much, people couldn't get employees, because 4% unemployment can actually be bad for an economy, because people can't get enough skilled workers. And when that happens and things slow down a bit in manufacturing, it actually has a reverse effect, because people start thinking, I'm just going to put off that purchase. So-and-so got laid off. Why? Because they had to raise their prices for labor, and then they had to raise their prices for product. Demand went down slightly, and with that slight decrease in demand, the people who hired the higher-priced workers would let them go first, and then people would see that unemployment went from 4 to 5 and say, wait a minute, let's just hold off just in case. Not panic, just hold off just in case. But when everyone does that, like in a traffic jam, they start slowing down just a little to take a look at that accident. It's a major disaster upline. So what happened was it caused just a tiny bit of a slowdown. And when you have a tiny bit of a slowdown, when people were going at full speed and hiring at top dollar, they start letting top dollar people go, and demand drops a bit, which then unemployment went up to 6%, and all hell broke loose. People panicked after that. The stock market tanked, and people started selling off, which means prices went down, and people found themselves upside down. Here's the craziest thing in the world. With 6% unemployment and 6% interest rates, we were in a full-fledged recession, and we were in bad shape. But when Obama took office, and then the unemployment went up to 10% before him, and then when he came to office, the same number that caused a recession caused people to celebrate. The 6% unemployment and interest rates at 6 coming down to 5 and then 4. So it's amazing. It's how you look at the numbers. And someone told me, when you see unemployment very, very low and interest rates starting to creep up, it's a bad sign. Low unemployment is not as good as people think, because it causes businesses to slow down. Is that true?
Well, I think you look at the situation today. The unemployment rate is getting low enough. People can't find skilled workers.
It's below 4%.
Yeah. People can't find skilled workers. The market's tight. It may draw some people who were unemployed or underemployed back into the market. But right now, I mean, the economy is clicking along.
Which is wonderful. But one little burble can cause people, because it's doing so well, it can cause them to choke just a little. I mean, in other words, they overreact because things are going so well. Mark, for example, you're so used to your returns in the stock market, way more than before, that if things went down to 20,000, if the index went down to 20,000, right?
I'd be out. If the Dow was at 20, if it started showing that trend, I'd get out pretty quick.
Okay, but what if it hovered at 20? It would be considered stagnant. And think about how great 20,000
Then I would convert.
Think about it, how great it is.
Well, I'd convert my equity in stocks right there to cash, and then I'd create a portfolio of property at that point.
Wouldn't other people start doing that, and what would happen?
Well, then it'll go down further.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But it's always going to cycle.
Psychology, of course. 303-713-TALK. Well, here's what I'm saying. Is the president responsible? The answer would be, of course he is, if he causes people to feel good.
Of course he is.
And if a president doesn't have confidence, then he causes people to feel badly. Do you think so?
Oh, I think so.
But he doesn't. It's not his direct action.
Well, no, no, that's not true. The tax cuts. We told every major corporation out there, instead of 35%, you're going to pay 21. My God, that's a no-brainer. No matter how you look at it, that's going to make them pump money into this economy.
It was
Apple and everybody else.
But it was happening before the tax cuts, Mark. It was because
that's right, because of deregulation. They said, okay, it's not going to take you 5 years to open up a new building. It's going to take you 6 months.
Mark, you have a question for Mark Trenner, attorney at law. Go ahead. We went back to you. I wanted to know if you had more questions because I thought he answered, but whatever you got, man.
Okay. So if my conceptual prototype is a certain size,
and that was the important thing,
and I want to be able to, and it's able to be factored up 3, 6, 10 times as large, does the provisional patent cover that same design?
Will the function be the same?
The function would relatively be the same.
Yeah, so size doesn't matter. Size
does
shape,
matter.
color.
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay, so size doesn't matter or design.
Size, shape, color doesn't matter in a utility patent.
Okay, now.
So shape does obviously dictate design.
But my question before, and I don't want to interrupt Mark's time, so Mark, you keep going because my question is about design. Mark, go ahead.
So this product has spawned at least 3 and potentially more separate business entities. So when seeking a provisional design patent,
there is no provisional design patent.
Provisional or a design.
Correct. Does one provisional patent cover the provisional patent under each 3 different separate entities? Or
well, no one. Inventions, patents don't care about entities. Give me a parallel example. Make up an example like that has nothing to do with you. Make up an example in the marketplace, like. Give me an example of what it would be.
Well, just real quick, what you could do is write 3 separate provisional patents and direct them like if they're in different fields.
But he's talking about entities. He's not. Are you talking about function or entity?
Entity.
Right, but like if one's in the field of banking and one's in the medical field,
what difference does it make?
Write different ones and you can assign it to different entities.
But why?
Because this entity you want to market to the medical device, and you may spin that off as a totally different company. This one you might want to market to the banking industry.
Why would you need a separate? Why would you need a separate patent for that? If you had a utility patent,
well, yeah, you don't necessarily need it, but you may direct one patent toward this, and it gets tweaked a little bit for that industry.
Wouldn't that be in the design?
Change this. No, I mean you can do that for the utility as well.
Would the function change in each of these so-called areas of industry?
No, the function would stay the same.
Exactly the same?
Seen as how you could birth 3 or 4 different business entities.
Right, what would change? What would change in these entities?
And maybe sell off one of those entities, then what provisional patent, what entity does it follow?
Well, that's a good question. The way you would probably do it is have a company to own the rights, and then you license your own entities. And then when you sell that company, you're selling the licensing rights with it.
That's right, you can do that.
That's probably the best because you're looking at one master patent. When you dilute things like you're talking about and literally assign patents, different patents, you have 3 times the exposure for challenges and violations and defending. If you have one holding company that holds the rights to this, okay, they hold the rights to it, they own it, then you license your own company, ABC, and the other one, XYZ, and then you license to your own entity. If you want to spin off that entity, you spin off the licensing.
Yeah, you can do it that way, or you can tweak the patents. There's a lot of different strategy that goes here.
I'll plan on meeting with Mark.
Sure.
And these questions aren't just for me, but it's for the audience as well.
Sure.
So you're talking about a design patent. What's the cost of a design patent?
Design patents, you're looking at about $2,000, get one filed at the patent office.
You have to have the utility underlying it, right?
No, you don't.
Well, if I made a design patent for an ATM machine,
So the tire treads is a good one.
Okay.
There's no underlying patent for rubber tires.
But let's say there is for an ATM machine. Why would I redesign something that I can't I have the function for? Do I sell the design?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you could do that, or if the underlying function's already in the public domain. A good example are lights.
I understand that, but I'm not asking about that. I am asking about redesigning something that has an active, excuse me, an active patent. What would happen then? Would you bother doing that, or because if the
probably not,
because the guy that has a utility patent just to say I don't want it.
Right, unless there's a different way of doing it. But yeah.
So it's
you can have your own patent that infringes on somebody else's patent.
So here's what I wanted to ask. This is very important. If the design is really, really the shiznits, if it's really what makes this thing cool, you can't get a provisional just while I'm waiting?
No, not for a design.
Why?
They're just two totally different types of patents.
So I have to go the long route if I have a product where the design...
file both.
Okay. Yeah. Now, are there, like you said, there are plenty of things where the functionality is public domain. It's been around forever.
Yeah.
You know, like the automobile. There's no patent on, but the design is incredibly different.
Right. Or for lamps, going to any light store, and there's tons of different lights.
And light fixtures and plumbing fixtures.
And you can have a different design
patent. But those are design patents.
One of those. That's right.
But you don't even have to have a design patent in order to redesign something. It just can be copied.
Yeah, a design patent protects others from copying your design.
Do designers of clothing have design patents?
You can. You can get a design patent for. You can get a design patent for clothes, right?
303-713-TALK. I'm running over time because this is so interesting. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ is a complete restoration of your mouth the right way. You know, a lot of people want a beautiful smile, and they're older. They don't want to go through 5 and 6 years of dentistry and orthodontics. They don't want to do extractions. They don't want to do surgeries. If they do veneers, do you know what that costs? $50,000, $60,000. Yeah, that's what it costs. Just the front teeth for veneers can cost you $25,000 and $30,000. So Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ enters the picture. They do a series of mouthpieces for adults. And over a 2-year period, that's all, 2 years, your palate is widened without surgery. He's proven it thousands of times. Your teeth drop into place. He uses Invisalign for the finishing touches. And you have a straight, beautiful smile with a widened palate, which also helps TMJ, and it also helps with sleep apnea. So your mouth is restored with a beautiful smile in 2 years for a fraction of the cost of veneers. 303-690-0100. There's a reason he calls it the new orthodontics. 303-690-0100. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ.
This is very interesting, but God, it's confusing.
Yeah, it is.
Mark, it's very confusing design, okay? Because it's probably the least of the protections, right? Like
it is, because if somebody changes it a little bit, then they get around it.
Like how little can they change it? Like, give me an idea of a design. So does Apple have a lot of design patents?
Oh yeah, they have a lot, and they've been in a lot of battles with Samsung.
Did you say tire treads were designed?
Tire treads, yeah.
But why? Just the way they look?
Yeah. So you know that that's the B.F. Goodrich tire tread. You know that.
Do you know tire treads, Mark? Are they distinct to you since you've been in the business?
Oh God, yeah.
When you look at them, you can tell.
Oh my God. Like, if you ever seen the Aqua Tread, that's an old tire, but holy shit, it was different than any other tire.
They take that very seriously.
The squiggles or the Z's or the...
Yeah.
And not just that, the compound, too. I don't know, on a design patent, that's one thing, but how about the actual rubber compound? What would that be?
Now, this is not
to the art of granite.
patentable, but let's take something like this. You start siping of a tire, slicing it to get better traction somehow.
That could be a design if the siping is built into the mold.
Yeah, but let's just say siping. You go to a dealer and they sipe your tires. Okay, our tire dealer, some of them won't do it. Okay, siping is a process. There's no product involved except the product to do it. So, if I came up with a procedure or a process that did something to improve a product, can you patent a process?
You can. You can patent.
How would you ever keep people from doing it? if, you know what I'm saying? Because
Well,
you see it on
so
YouTube.
that's the thing. So
Right.
it ends up inside
But what-
somebody's factory, and how
But
do you
what,
know?
how would you, so you'd have the royalty, so to speak. So whenever someone does this process, they have to pay you. Can you give me an
So it's
idea?
not automatic like copyright. You have to actually go to them and say, I have a patent on this.
Do you want to do it?
For
And then
infringement
it's
if you
like
don't
these,
pay
like
me.
these LASIK machines pay a royalty every time they use it.
Right.
Because LASIK is not, they don't have the patent on LASIK. They have the patent on this one specific procedure
Yeah.
that this
Right.
machine
So if you
does.
want to use it and not be accused of infringement, and you pay the license fee.
So could somebody have a patent on their move? Dan, did you write it on their move?
I think so.
The move?
George.
So he thought he had a patent.
Seinfeld.
So with it's not called a design when you want to do a process. What it's called?
It's a utility patent.
So like McDonald's process for making burgers.
Yeah.
They used to didn't they used to have a patent on that? And then the milkshake machines, the multiple.
They might have. They probably have some patents. Yeah.
Burger King did with the.
But they're only valid for 20 years, so any patent.
And you can never renew it. You have to change it.
Yeah.
Is that why you
20
see?
years, you
Is
get
that
it.
why you see new and improved?
Yeah, sometimes it's just the marketing.
Patent pending. It means provisional now, right?
Well, either. Anything, even a design patent.
Yeah, that's my life on this thing. I can't do it.
Any patent you file, you
I was going to say some days I can't miss, but then mark it.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I had seen that.
Oh,
That
may
they were saying patent pending even on a full patent, or they call it pending.
No, once it's issued, then it's patented.
Yeah. But pending isn't a
It
provision.
just gets
Provisional.
so.
It can be provisional.
Don't
design
you
or
hear
utility.
people?
Wow, okay.
It must frustrate you. You hear people saying wrong things all the time. Well, you got to mail it to yourself.
Yeah. Or the people that say I need a trademark for my invention, or I need a patent for my name.
Bill, I got a question for you. As an economist, are there liberal economists? People.
Of course, there are other economists.
Okay. How can any economist not think dropping the corporate tax to 21% from 35% would not help the economy?
Economist?
Yeah. How could any? I mean, they're really against that. I thought most of them, liberals thought this was a bad deal.
I've never heard economists say it would hurt the economy.
Well, then, believe they're liberals. Old liberals say
They don't say it'll hurt the economy. They say it'll hurt people. They never.
Usually it's like a.
not hurt people, but if it
They'll
helps
say the
them-
rich are not paying their fair
how can you
share.
how can you hurt people
I'm not-
and
I'm
not
not
help
arguing
the economy?
that. I'm
If the
saying-
economy's good, it's going to help people.
But they're going to say trickle down didn't work, and they're going to say
That's
that.
not trickle down.
Dan, I'm telling you what they say. I'm not arguing for
Okay.
them. I don't give a shit. I mean, I do believe it'll improve the economy, but they give those arguments. Ask them.
That's what I said.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Joel has a question for our trademark and patent attorney and copyright attorney, intellectual property attorney, I should say. So we'll go to him. And really, one thing you don't need a patent for, I know you don't need a patent for, are cars. So when you want to get a used car, you go to Rocky's at 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. Now, you can go there one day and not find what you want, but 2 days later they could have what you want because it changes so often. They have such a large variety. They buy their cars outright. They own them, okay? Here's the other thing. You have a variety in financing, too, because they have 40 lenders to choose from. Just listen. Go shopping. Shop around, but put them on the list. That's what I want you to do, to compare. That's the way to do it, okay? 303-426-4646. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. And they're at 63rd and Federal. And now, so, Joe, the question for Mark Trenner. Are you an inventor?
Yes.
Okay. Do you hold any patents right now?
I have a patent pending.
You do. Is it a provisional patent? Is that what you mean?
No, it's patent. And
it's pending.
I found it's like 10 years old, and I've been fighting. I'll give your public a piece of advice. Don't do the patent yourself. I have spent so much time and money on fees and back and forth with the patent office that I could have paid an attorney many times over.
Could you do me a favor
I still don't have a patent.
Mark, very quickly, Could you do me a favor?
Thank you for that, Joel.
Do me a favor, Mark, and tell me how can somebody have a patent pending for 10 years?
Yeah, you can have a patent pending for up to 20 years.
Yeah,
well, hold on. So it doesn't expire. You don't lose your rights to get
Not
a patent.
until you walk away from it.
So hold on. Then that, in some ways, is better than a provisional patent.
It actually is. Patent pending is valuable in some respects. You can sell a patent pending to a company, and a lot of the time, even if you have some issued patents, they'll want some still pending that they can hand over to their team and work on and advance it from there.
Wait, then why would I... Explain to me, why would I do a provisional patent if I can do a patent pending? First of all,
provisional is patent pending.
But he has a patent pending
and
without
it actually adds a year. So you could, if you start with provisional, you can go out to 21 years of patent pending.
But he has a patent pending without a provisional.
Right.
So not all patent pendings are provisional.
No, the day that you file any patent, design, utility, method, process,
it's pending.
Yes.
Does it save
until it issues it or you abandon it?
And it saves your place in line.
It does.
So again, I'm going to ask, why wouldn't I just do a patent pending and pursue a patent rather than having a 1-year time clock?
Lot of reasons. Do the provisional first.
Give me a reason.
A lot less expensive. Remember, we said the $1,500 versus about $5,000.
Well, the patent pending doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. The entire process might be. But if I just get it started, how much is it?
So to start the utility patent's about $5,000. To start the provisional is about $1,500.
Okay, hold on. So I thought maybe I'm making a mistake. I thought a patent pending was simply filing an application.
It is.
Well, why would that be $5,000?
That's what the patents cost.
No, but patent pending. What I'm saying is, listen, Joel, I'll go back to you. We know it takes a certain amount of work to do a patent.
Right.
Okay.
It takes about $5,000 worth of work to do a regular patent.
So let's say it takes A, B, C, D, and E to do a patent. But to get the patent pending status, you may only have to do A or A and B. So I'm saying if you can do A or A and B and let it suspend out there, you have more than a year. You can spread those costs out over 5 years, $1,000 a year. Why? And not have a time clock. I can't see why I would spend $1,500 to have 1 year to get a patent.
Because that $5,000's up front. That's the prepare and file and get patent pending status for the full utility.
That's what they would charge.
That's what I charge.
Okay. I understand, but I guess I just don't understand though why that because you don't to do a patent pending, and I don't mean to really drag this on, but to do a patent pending, you don't have to have all of the information at your fingertips that day, right?
No, you don't, and that's usually why it's better to file the provisional. That's one of the many reasons.
Can I turn my provisional into a patent pending?
Yeah, well, it is patent pending.
No, I mean toward the end. No, toward the end of the year when it's about to expire, and I'm not ready to get a patent. Can I then go?
No, you have to move on to the patent. It expires automatically. They only give you that 1 year on a provisional. Then you have to go forward.
And going forward means what?
The $5,000 file.
Okay, but when you do that, is it patent pending or is it immediately
it stays
a patent?
Patent pending. No, until it issues, then it's patented.
So you are converting a provisional into a patent pending technically.
Not technically, but you kind of are.
You kind of are, because after that 1 year...
Technically, you can't convert it.
After that 1 year, if it's not a patent at the time, but you have the process going, what is it called? Patent pending, right?
It stays patent pending then.
Until you get it done.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. This is so confusing to me. I think most of the time you just get an attorney just to freaking understand the process. Joel, go ahead with your thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I did the patent myself, finally the inspector said, get a lawyer. I'm tired of dealing with this. Basically, he said, I'm tired of dealing with this. Get a lawyer.
Can they say that? Come on.
The examiner said that?
Yeah.
That's what they'll always tell you. They always say, please get an attorney because they don't want to work with individuals.
I have tried to get an attorney, and they want to start all over. And I don't want to start all over because I lose my date.
Oh, yeah, no, give me a call off there and I can look at it. I've done this for a lot of people that they've started on their own.
You picked up where they dropped. You've been going 10 years and couldn't get a patent?
Correct.
What's the big hang-up?
It's so strange because the patent office will read down so many paragraphs, so many lines, and they'll find a mistake, and they stop.
Yep.
and then they notify you, okay, you have to correct this and correct that.
And even if you do it on your paperwork.
You pay your fees again,
yep.
And then you send it back to them, and they read down a little further. Find another mistake.
All right.
Instead of reading the whole thing,
no, they don't.
You need to fix this.
All right, listen, Mark Trenner, he said he will pick up where you left off unless you did something wrong. 720-221-3708, okay? Now, Mark has one last question for Trenner, but here's what I want to tell you. We have lines open, so you can get right through, and we'll take your calls. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. You can absolutely get right through. You know, with the State of the Union, people have been talking about the economy, and Mark's been talking about the economy. Everyone is concerned about the economy, and I think one of the things that slows down an economy is when interest rates go up. And Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans, I know that you're very sensitive to interest rates because people have this mental image that if rates go up, they're going to get stung. I want to remind them about the interest rate guarantee. Why do you think it's important to start the buying process, though, now? Is it to get in under the wire or what?
It absolutely is. You know, here's the thing. The longer you wait, as we continue to see economic traction, rates are going to climb higher. And we're already seeing that happen right now in the month of January. Since the beginning of the year, we've seen rates move up about 0.25% on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. So for those looking to buy, the lower the rate, the more you qualify to purchase, and the more purchasing power you have in the marketplace. I would encourage anybody who's looking at buying this year to get started now before rates climb higher, because you may run into a situation where you're not going to qualify for what you want to buy because of escalating interest rates, and you don't want to be caught left in the cold outside looking in, not being able to take advantage.
That's a good way to put it. And you would be surprised how they can help you. In fact, they have a department for people that want to start buying, and they have worked with these people for months if you're not ready. So call them if you're looking to buy a home, and of course if you're looking to refi or to get purchase money for something you've already found. 303-867-7000. 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
Hi, it's Botus. Yeah.
But I said 30 days. Well, 3 weeks, but I said everything, too much. And I know I said too much.
If you make one little mistake. Was he on the phone? Yeah.
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 But I didn't get it
We
right.
do that too.
Yeah,
especially every day. You send it off and you forget something, you get it back. Well,
Well, the guy that was suggesting the act doing it, so said all of them, that's where you don't see any of it.
So what else do you do? I also do that, calls, research, that kind of stuff.
Okay, we didn't get either of them back, but it just was not working.
I actually
I was on
consulted for Mark.
Hello. None of the government stuff that you would need background checks.
No, it's not easy.
You know those, the T-shirts I wear sometimes that are the Dickies brand?
Yeah.
So I ordered some button-down Dickies from Amazon. I was telling Suzanne, I got some shirts coming that hopefully show up before we leave for Vegas in the morning from Amazon. And I followed it up. I love Dickies, not realizing what I was saying out loud, of course. Yeah. Mostly I grew up East Coast, Tri-State, New York. I was born in New York, and then Westchester, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly, and then South Jersey, right outside of Philly.
We first started in 97 military school.
Bloomfield, Pennsylvania. It was called Carson Lawn Military Academy. Way up in the hills, the rolling hills of Pennsylvania.
When Mark leaves, you're welcome to take his chair. It all works the same, okay?
Okay. Yeah, in fact, I'll put you over it.
It never gets simpler, it just gets more and more and more
I
complicated.
don't know where Trump went.
He didn't go to military school.
Yeah, he did.
Did he really?
I think what was the big one? When I was,
What a day of all
the big military school was always,
yeah, that's amazing. I can't think of the name of it,
but it was in Pennsylvania.
And anybody, nobody can't think about it.
He might have went there. It was one of the largest.
How many years did he go?
They get to a point each year, 2 students to each academy, at least back then, which was pretty cool. So if you were really involved in it, you were fighting for those positions, and they're locked in. I mean, you can go through the congressional way, or you can go directly into a military school. So they were very coveted.
I think you went to what, Air Force Academy?
I'm almost positive.
You talking about the military academy, like Air Force?
I was talking about military schools. They usually appoint 2 to each of the academies.
Oh, okay.
Or you can go through the congressional way, get your recommendations.
3 family members into the Air Force Academy, but they want to start when they're in junior high school. They have a counselor that starts in the junior high level.
Or you get a senator recommendation.
Well, yeah, you have to have that congressional recommendation. That's not that hard to get.
Well, they only got a limited amount. That's really hard.
Well, my daughter got it because she was on the Air Force.
Tommy, I'm going to split early. I got to go help my guy.
Team.
Put in the furnace.
She's in high school.
Yeah, like I'm going to help him put him in. He's got something going on.
She got accepted. She never went.
So, you got my phone number.
I've got a granddaughter right now.
You got my phone number. I'm splitting early. If you need anything, just call. We'll always have the phone. Unless if another Uber driver steals it.
What?
I had an Uber driver steal my phone last time I was in Vegas. Now people go, you mean you left it in the Uber car? Well, yes and no, but I left it right up on his dashboard, and he took off with it and literally wouldn't call me back. And then he charged me another 25 plus miles in the Uber app. So my $8 ticket became $41, and he wouldn't give me my phone back.
So we can't talk about it.
This is all in my opinion, and by the way, it's Lyft, not Uber. It's Lyft.
So you said you left it in there, yes and no. What's the no part you didn't leave it in there?
Well, they should give it back.
Well, yeah, of course.
You've got a moral obligation.
What's the yes and no?
I'm making this story up as I go. There's no truth to this. Allegedly, it was Lyft.
What do you allegedly get for it?
I allegedly will not talk about that.
Is there really anything they can do with those phones?
No, once these modern day phones, man, once they're locked, they're done.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They are done.
You can watch this too. Mark, I have
Say that again, sir.
I know they can't get a reactor.
You didn't say you were going to get solid.
Now you go to Vegas.
And always on the
radio. Okay.
No, I mean, you can wipe your own phone.
You killed yours. I just brought this off.
Call me if there's any issues.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Oh man, is it busy with patent attorney. It can get so confused. We've got Mark Trenner with us, and I want to remind our common man, he's not just here as a pretty face. He can chime in and talk if he wants, and it's always important to tell you that. Genesis Total Exteriors, if you're looking for a home improvement company that won't rip you off, and if you're tired of going to all those other sources, and you want someone who will really do the job, and no big money up front, and somebody you can totally trust, GenesisTotalExteriors.com, 303-679-8509. Total home improvements, basically, inside and out. So Mark has one last question. He was on before, but he has the last question for Mark Trenner, attorney at law, our intellectual attorney. Go ahead, Mark, for Mark.
Yeah, it ties right into what you guys were talking about as far as expenses. This particular product is low tech versus, a new X-ray machine or something like that. So if I want to conserve costs and start off and go for a provisional patent, and it's $1,500 roughly, and 3 weeks later want to get a design patent, and then down the road a little bit more have to do a regular patent, are any of those costs pass-through costs and apply to the $5,000, or they're all on top of the $5,000?
Yeah, each project is a separate project because each one takes that amount of time.
And so by the time you add that up, that's $8,500 plus miscellaneous costs and fees.
Yeah, but there are ways to economize that you're not thinking about.
You could go anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 pretty quick, even on a low-tech item, right?
It's possible.
But Mark, did you hear what I said? There might be ways to economize those motions, those procedures, if you talk to Mark Trenner. He might say, you don't have to do this or this.
Right.
Let's do it this way.
And when you're talking the $15,000, you're talking over the course of a couple of years.
And then real quickly, is a holding company the same thing as an umbrella corporation?
It can be. It depends on what all an umbrella corporation is something you call an umbrella corporation. An umbrella, as it signifies, is an umbrella over other things. It doesn't even have to be owned. It can just be co-managed. Umbrellas, it's really a holding company is a company. Usually people do that to consolidate administration and sometimes HR, but mainly administration and all of that. And it's when one guy wants to own a lot of different things, and they own hundreds of other companies under a holding company. Well, that's usually what it is.
Just real quick, a good idea for making an IP holding company is to separate those assets, and then you license it off so that if one company gets sued for product liability, for example, they can't necessarily go after the underlying asset, the patent.
It's just that company. So each company would have its own, each invention would have its own LLC.
Right.
I've got 20 other product inventions and business ventures right behind this one. So,
Mark, have you ever talked to anyone about getting them off the ground?
Oh yeah, this one's off the ground already. Like I said, it's already all the conceptual prototypes are done, and I'm ready to.
No,
take it
I'm
to
talking
the
about
level.
your business ideas and ventures. Have you ever talked to anyone about making them? You know, like doing them?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Do you have any business
Right now.
of the 20? Do you have any actually making money?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking the questions on this first conceptual prototypes.
Okay. So really, a holding. I think what you're doing right now is thinking way ahead of. You don't even have to worry about your holding company right now. What you have to worry about is I would just do one invention at a time, as Mark sees fit. If he thinks you can consolidate something, fine. And I would do it under an entity like an LLC. It's very simple, and you do one invention under that LLC, and then if it gets to a point where you have multiple LLCs and you want a holding company, go ahead, get a holding company. It would be fine. But you don't have to have the entire structure laid out right now and then fill it in.
No, and we can always move IP around from one company to another. That's
Right.
not a big deal.
Rob, what's going on with you, Rob?
Hey, Tom, I heard you talk about it before, but my dad passed away a few years ago. We finally sold his house.
Yes.
Close to $1 million, and I want to give my brothers and sisters an equal portion, and they're worried about inheritance tax and some
Now,
other
your
stuff.
your father did he did pass away?
Yeah, he passed away, and he gave the house to. He put the house. He deeded it to me upon his death.
Okay, and you want to give away equal portions to your brother and sister. You don't, and actually, you don't really have to technically.
I don't have to.
I mean, you're doing it. Was it in the will? I'm just curious. You're a really nice guy. Usually, death and money separates families, but was it directed in the will?
Nope, he gave everything to me, all his holdings and stuff like that.
Wow,
and
do you realize? I mean, we get so many calls like that where people just keep it. You're a good guy, man.
Well, thanks.
Okay, there are no taxes. 5.5 million's the cutoff. There are no taxes. You can give away anything you want to me. You can give it to me. It doesn't have to be a relative. So
right. Do I have to report anything?
Yeah, you do a gift. Now, at this point, technically, it's your gift. It's not your dad's, okay?
Correct.
So you have the property. What you would do is fill out a gift tax form, but the only reason you do that is to go against your lifetime limit. That's the only reason. There is no tax.
And that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm clear from understanding you in the past.
Have fun with it, man. What a good brother. Think about all those calls we've gotten where people have you know, what have they done? Like influenced their parents to change the will at the last minute,
that's what we see mostly.
or they're the executor, or what they call now personal representative, and they won't give details, and they keep a lot of the money. This guy is voluntarily giving his siblings equal shares
Because he wants to keep his siblings together.
Yeah.
And that's otherwise they'll just tear them apart.
Dan said the other day something so true. He said, if a parent wants to separate a family, just do an unfair distribution, and even though it was the parent that did it, the children will resent each other. They will, the rest of their lives. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, Christy has a story about K&H, and then Leanna wants to talk about a divorce and alimony while time in prison. We'll try to get our expert on that one for sure. And what else do we have to talk about? Pro Auto Care. What a place. Now, the reason I like Pro Auto Care is very simple. They're nannies. I really mean that. That's one of the main hallmarks I love about them. You know, they've been in business 26 years, and they've been doing a great job. They have 2 locations near Evans and I-25 near Bowles and Santa Fe. But listen to this. If you have a VIN number, of course you do, you give them your VIN number, they look up what maintenance is required, when it's required, what the manufacturer recommends, and what you want, and they remind you. They do all your tire rotations, whatever you need. They give you a gentle email or a text reminder. You never have to worry about your car. It's like having a big brother or a car nanny. And they do all such great work at great prices. That is the main deal, and honesty. 303 Pro Auto is the number, 303 Pro Auto, and the website is the same with the .com, 303proauto.com.
You know that fix it 24/7? Yeah. I called those guys about
you have somewhere to go now,
Wi-Fi
it's a great time to
thermostats.
do it as far as the Mile High City Freeway
We were
drive
going to buy
is
for $250. They gave me a part number for
delay free through the heart of Denver. No troubles on the
brand
turnpike.
Honeywell.
Do you have another water? If not, fine. Do you have a water? Okay.
No delays.
They gave me a part number for a Honeywell for $55.
Here's
Said
one
the same thing.
It's not a cold. Thanks, man. Is that ours? Yeah. $55.
Yeah. They said there's a Honeywell did exactly the same stuff as this other one for $55. You know, just the advice over the phone.
That is so cool.
Right now, mostly cloudy skies.
Yeah, they didn't even sell it to me. They just said, we get it on Amazon for $55.
You feeling better?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I just,
Yeah.
antibiotics.
If we get slow here, we can have an update on this guy that you can call our water protections here.
I got a bunch of people that
This guy had a bull just leave on property a couple days ago.
What's his name?
Jay.
Okay, you want to email me? There's an update on him?
I got the update on him and stuff. I mean, he does have a question still. He's got a question. His lien went out of date. He just wants to make sure that they can't re-lien them or do anything.
No, they're done. They're done.
Okay.
So can you email me his info and I'll call him here in a minute?
Usually, that's the way the system works. Now, you may think, I don't want to sue, I don't want to go through all of that. You know, John Fuller is someone you should talk to. It's free of charge, it's complimentary. If he takes the case, it's only payable if he wins, and it's a small
This is one of the guys you want to put on Sleaze Brigade, and I checked him out. He's going on the Sleaze Brigade, Tom, because he hung up on me.
Oh. Why did he hang up on you?
Because I kept questioning his business practices.
Hey, I got,
And he didn't say very good things on you either. So,
I got 2 or 3 guys. I actually got 2 or 3 guys that need to be there. I don't know what to do.
No, we need to have a Sleaze Brigade meeting actually
Okay.
to do that, because that website needs to be updated and people are hitting it like crazy. So we'll have a meeting, okay?
Okay.
Let's see, maybe even today after the show.
These are people who have taken money and haven't done anything.
Right. We gotta really be on top of those people. Gotta let people know about it for sure. I got a whole bunch of listings here. Everyone, and the ones with the hearts are the ones I liked.
Are you moving again?
Nah, here's what I'm doing. I'm exploring. I'll tell you why. The market's soft above $1 million, and I have a shitload of equity that I want to reduce my costs. I don't want to move up. I want to move down. I can get about $2 million for mine, and I can put a lot. I can put some $500 plus. My monthly with a paid off unit, it's paid off. Monthly is $2,500 just because of bullshit and HOAs and stuff. It's
So
just
Bill, again, I just got this question. Are there economic
God, I got a friend who just moved out of Austin. And their house was paid for. There was about a $3 million house in Austin.
Can you believe how much it costs just to maintain that?
I mean, how would they?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
I
Cause
like this.
In Texas, though, because
economy
you
to
don't
me,
have
economics to me seems
you
common
don't have
sense.
income tax.
For the most part, yeah.
They beat you to
You
death.
know,
on
if you
property
do
tax.
this, what's going to happen? Of course, you got to know.
Yeah, Texas does.
But how can you not?
He was in Austin. It was
If we're competing against other countries
$5,400 a month.
that have
Even though the house
20%
paid for.
corporate income tax, and we're at 35, how can you not think that's not going to bring more business to the
Still a negative asset in Colorado.
I can't argue for them. I guess they could say, well, again, without much proof, they just simply say, well, it's against the exist. I think what we need to think
Speaking of looking
about
stuff,
more,
did you buy the
because there's
plan?
companies like Provisional or overseas, you know, you gotta find a way for them to bring that money back.
That's part of the repatriation. And they're bringing it back versus paying 35% on it. Now they can bring it back for 10%.
Yeah, it'll look like a bug.
And to me, that's another. I mean, the whole it makes just perfect sense.
Yeah.
What they and I just don't understand. Anyway,
Well, I mean, I'm not on
some
that
people can
side,
say.
so it isn't, you know,
I'm
so
sorry?
I'm not on that side that things are bad. So
Right,
it's
right.
difficult for me to
Right. And that's what I'm saying. How can you have economists think so different?
Yeah.
You know, on something that should say you do this, it's going to do this.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I mean, I know there's little stuff that can.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All upgraded.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, let's go to Christy with a story about K&H. Go ahead, Christy. What do you got?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
When we first bought our house about almost 25 years ago, we needed new windows, so we called a few different companies to come out and give us an estimate.
Yeah.
And one of them was K&H.
Yeah.
So my husband and I were to meet with them at our house, so the salesman showed up. My husband wasn't home quite yet, so it was an older salesman and a younger guy, so I led him into the kitchen, and they sat down at the table, and I went to sit next to them at the head of the table, and the older gentleman, the older salesman, put his hand on the chair and said, "Let's save that seat for the head of the house." So I sat down across from them and just kind of gave him a... look, and the older gentleman had
How many years ago? How many years ago is this?
Almost 25, probably
Okay.
about 23, 24.
Yeah.
So the older salesman, he had to run out to the car for something, and the younger guy was sitting there. I'm sure he was in training. And I said, "So did you learn your first lesson?" And he said, "What was that?" I said, "That right there is how you lose a sale."
Oh, my God, I can't believe what he said.
I know it. So hopefully things have changed since then.
Oh, my God, of course, they're such...
it at the time.
They're such good people. I mean, you know, what can you say? You know what? I mean...
Well, he was an old guy, so he had an old way of thinking, but...
He said, "Let's save that seat for the head of the household." What, was your husband there?
He was on his way from work. We were just waiting for him.
And he thought he was being charming, you know. But
No.
25, hold on, 25 years ago, I mean, I'm just trying to think back 25 years.
Probably a different K&H, Tom.
No. I'm not talking about them. Who knows what it was back then. I mean, Ted was just taking over around then. Ted from Larry, the owner. Right around then, 25 probably. Maybe 30. It was just, he was new there. But anyway, the bottom line, though, when this guy did it, were you offended immediately?
I was offended immediately.
Why didn't you say anything?
I don't know. I was 25 years younger, and I just knew right then he wasn't getting the sale. My husband's an easy sell, but I'm not, so I got the last laugh on that. Plus, they were really high, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. And the kid, the younger kid in training, he just kind of laughed. He said, "I'll make a note of that."
Well, you'll find a whole different company. I mean, I can't say you'll find a whole different company. What I'm saying is I don't know what happened back then. The K&H are great people, and their prices are, you know, what they are. You know, they're not the cheapest, they're not the most expensive, but they're really good people. Interesting story, and that just goes to show you, folks, we never screen out anything. I mean, you can talk about anything you want on this show. Leanna, what's happening? Hi, Leanna.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
That's okay. Our attorney is not available. However, we have a lot of expertise. What's going on?
Well, I'm going to be getting a divorce, and I've been married for 14 years.
Yeah.
But my husband, he was in prison for probably about 8 of that, and I was just wondering if you think a judge would take that into consideration when calculating alimony.
Well, you're married for 14 years, and
Yes.
he is out of prison now?
Yes.
When did he get out of prison?
November of 2016.
2016, husband got out of jail. Hold on, and we'll talk about that. I'll bring you first up. This is important. And we'll perhaps get another attorney on. Bonnie's not available. I'm Tom Martino, more with Mark Trenner and the rest of the gang right after this.
Okay, who do we have as backup?
So she doesn't want to pay alimony.
How she thinks she's gonna get alimony from a guy who's got a...
No. She's gonna have to pay alimony to him.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think so. Not unless he does a lot of it. Not unless he does a lot of it. No. Don't we have divorce attorneys? No. Did they? Well, who is in that? Is Bonnie the only one in that category? Okay. If she is, make a note for our people to go out and find divorce attorneys. I can't believe that Bonnie would be the only divorce attorney we have.
That's what it is. I'm sure she's been working this whole time, and you look at it.
God, this panel is, that looks like a $50,000 panel.
It is. I mean, it is if you got that in a Cirrus, because it has to be FAA. This is ASTM. They're the same shit, but because they're certified with FAA, everything triples.
Yeah.
This thing,
because this is a light sport.
Well, this thing is about this probably is about I would say a 15. Let's see, this 4. Yeah, that's about 18 grand anyway, right there.
What is it? Because of the light sport category?
Yeah. So here's the panel. Isn't it beautiful?
God,
autopilot. When you have an autopilot and you have full glass and a parachute, and look at this. Look how cute it is.
It is cute. It looks. That's the one. Yeah. It looks like a little bug.
Gullwing doors.
3-blade, probably composite prop.
Yeah. Cinnages, whatever Cinnages.
Synthetic, yeah.
Just poor guy. He bought it. Can't fly it. He's sick.
Wow. Where's that?
Washington. They're going to deliver it.
I like those. That look. That
Beautiful little thing.
Yeah, the little bug look to them.
Did you buy that? It's a sport plane, just a little sports plane.
Sport pilot now.
Did you buy that? Oh, I didn't mean to exclude you guys. I just didn't think you'd be interested. And I bought this little one for my sons. I want Griffin, my stepson, and my other son to fly in it, to learn. And so this one is the front. They're called sport planes. It's a new, but look at this panel. Oh, look how sophisticated. That's I had a Cirrus over 600,000. I paid for it, and it had the same thing.
It'd be a $50,000 panel on a certified airplane. Well, it's still certified.
Years ago, here's what they did.
How much is the airplane?
New, it would be 165 grand. I picked that up for 100, but 165. It's got 42 hours on it. The guy bought it and can't fly it.
So, are you licensed to teach your kids to fly, or do you have to?
I just teach them, and then there's nothing against showing them, but I have an instructor that does it. But here's how we do it. The instructor shows them the basics, then I go out and tell them the real world. Yeah. By the time they go back to the instructor, they're here. Yeah. So we're doing it in triple the amount of time, and I mean less than a third of the time. And they love learning. The instructor's cool, but if I had to pay, 20 hours is required of dual, they call it. Hardly anyone does it 20, they have to take more. But that 20 hours of dual is expensive.
You're paying for the plane and the instructor.
So I have, my kids will do it at 20 hours just because they have to. But it'll be not a penny more. But it's just they'll do it, so they'll save so much money. Most people, don't you think they get 35 hours of instruction at least?
Yeah,
they
probably.
They do it.
My wife and I bought us a 150 to learn how to fly.
But you guys did it right after.
Yeah.
What are the flight instructors charge?
Flight instructors aren't expensive, maybe $50 an hour.
Yeah.
It's the plane.
It's the plane, the fuel, but here's what else it is. It's the number of hours. You have to, 20 hours is the bare minimum. I did it in 20, but no one does it in 20. I did it in 20 because I bought a plane, and I flew. Most people, they take the lesson every couple of weeks, or maybe once a week at the most, and it's hard. That retention is hard.
Yeah.
The ground school is all about 50-year-old technology too.
Here's the thing: they haven't upgraded. They haven't upgraded the test. They have VOR and ADF. I mean, those technologies we don't even have in the airplane. That thing doesn't have a VOR in it, and you have to learn how to use one. You have to learn what they're all about. They don't even have
dead reckoning and VORs and ADS.
We have technology in these planes that
The airlines.
It used to be in a 747. I swear to God, it's unbelievable what technology did. So you have to learn such ridiculous navigation to get your FAA test, which you never use. Never ever use it.
Yeah.
I mean, how? I mean,
my nephew that went for Air Force
you
Academy.
could have your cell phone, and it would be more accurate than anything in the old planes. Your cell phone.
My nephew that went for Air Force Academy was flying those C-130s with all the old steam gauges, and they're sitting in their handheld GPS.
Or their cell phone.
Yeah.
Listen, when they tell me, well, this isn't certified, or this, you have to learn how to use this. I told these guys that it's hard to justify for them. For me and for you, they had them in the planes, but we can't even go out and practice what they have to learn because it's not in the airplane.
Oh yeah, the ADF.
An ADF? I haven't seen an ADF.
Well, ADF you wouldn't have except for.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. This hour brought to you by the Raleigh House. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. We're going to get to all of your calls, and we're going to fight for you, and we're going to do everything we can to make your life a little easier. That's what we do here. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. On a serious note, the Raleigh House is a rehabilitation, a treatment center for addiction. And they advertise, and when they came to me for advertising, we decided we're not advertising for people to call in and sign up. Nobody's going to do that. In fact, I recommend you never do that. You need information first. And the Raleigh House may be just a perfect fit for you. They have evidence-based treatments, but here's the real deal. That number is for information. The caring, loving staff at the Raleigh House have agreed with me to have this service, this helpline that you can call for information on addiction. Anything you want to learn about addiction, just give us a call at this number. They will answer anything. How much it costs, how long it takes, what are the methods, what other methods are there other than Raleigh House, what does the Raleigh House do, how do I know someone has a problem, what do I look for, how do I approach them, what's the difference between painkiller addiction and marijuana, or what's the difference between heroin and painkillers. Anything you want. I mean, I can't even think of the questions they can answer. You will have questions, and everyone needs information, but I urge you to do something. Please call today, because there's no obligation. There shouldn't be anything holding you back, because when you have information, you can help the addict in your life, and no one is going to get better without help. 720-893-5559. Write that down. Maybe you talk about it with your husband or wife or loved one. 720-893-5559. Thank you. So Leanna is getting a divorce. Her husband got out of jail November 2016. He was in jail for how many years?
He was in for 5.
5 years of the 14, and you want to get a divorce, and you're wondering what will happen with maintenance. Now, here's the sad story. They will take into consideration his earning potential when it's not a formula like custody. It's, child care. It's not a formula. It is based on the judge, and it's based on the arguments presented. I have seen cases, Leanna, where a guy was in jail, and his wife ended up paying him maintenance. Is that what you're worried about?
Well, I'm the breadwinner, so I'm sure I'm going to have to pay him something.
Do you have children?
We do. We have 2.
Well, you may not have to buy. I mean, if you're taking care of the children, that comes first. So
one's 20, one's 17.
Oh, okay. Well, the 17-year-old's in your care. How much do you make a year?
About 60,000.
About 60. And you have taken care of the kids. Now, during this time, may I ask why you didn't do this divorce sooner?
Because I was stupid.
Were you hoping to reconcile?
No. I didn't want to kick him while he was down.
Okay. May I ask why he was in jail?
The last time it was for armed robbery.
So when you married him, was he a bad dude? Were you in a different place in your life, and you had 2 kids with him? Were you just not thinking clearly, or what, did he not exhibit any characteristics?
There were signs, but we also had a son that had just died, and when you're going through all those emotions and things, we decided spur of the moment just to get married. And
Leanna, did he go bad, so to speak, after you got married, or did he have problems before?
He was diagnosed as schizophrenic a year into the relationship, and then things went downhill from there.
God, I feel so sorry for you. Really, I do. Yeah, they're going to take into consideration all of that, but a judge also is going to take into consideration that you are the only, so to speak, breadwinner for the, well, you don't have children, but that you have raised them without help, haven't you?
Well, his mother did help when the kids were younger.
But did he pay child support?
Never, no.
So a judge will take that into consideration. He never supported his children. Even though there was no order, there was no divorce, he never contributed. So you might get a break. It's how you tell your story to the judge. Is he going to lawyer up?
Probably. If he finds out, like, if I have to pay for it, he'll probably do it.
You may have to pay for it. You may have to pay for it. Isn't that terrible? Your husband, an armed robber, in prison. He gets out, and you have to foot the bill for his attorney and probably support him.
Yes, but that's my fault, like you said.
Well, it's not your fault. It's your situation. It's not your fault. So, let's talk about this. You need someone to advocate for you. You're not going to try to do this without an attorney. And you know what? Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure that it's going to go all his way. Judges do take into consideration deadbeats. If he is a deadbeat. Now, if he puts on the position and if he puts on the image, hey, I'm a good guy, I've turned my life around, Your Honor, I want time with the kids, I want this, I want that. What has he done since he's been out? He's been out more than 2 years, right? No, 17. Yeah, more than a year. What has he done? Has he made any attempt to see the children?
Well, we're actually living together right now, but we're not in a relationship.
Oh, my God, Leanna.
Well, I did it to help him be able to get on his feet.
And there's no relationship at all?
No.
You don't sleep together?
No.
He has a separate room?
Yes.
And he understands you have no more marriage?
Yes, he does.
Okay. So you're being a friend to him. What a kind person, my God. And it's the father of your children. So, is he, this is a weird question, is he a good father?
I would say he's not the greatest father. He does try to do some things, but...
What does he do with his time? Has he been working?
He does odds and end jobs. He's going to school for air conditioning and to be a pool cleaner, things like that.
But is he actually working? Does he contribute to help you?
He does not contribute.
How is he going to take it? How is he going to take it when you slap him with a divorce? Is it when he gets served, which he has to get served, is he going to get angry?
We've discussed it already.
Okay, so he knows you're going to file. He knows you're going to file.
Yes, yes.
You should do this through mediation. You know what? You should call Bonnie Shields and ask her to mediate it. She does mediation.
Okay, well, I don't actually live there. I'm in Arizona.
Oh. Is he in Arizona? Well, you live together. He's in Arizona, right? Okay. We can find someone. You need to get this mediated. Now, Arizona has a different set of rules, but the maintenance is pretty much the same. So,
okay. Thank you.
What you're looking for is him to be reasonable. You're going to start out by saying, I'm not paying you anything. Do you think he's smart enough to know that maybe he can get something from you?
Yes. He's threatened it.
Oh, God. What kind of a man? Jesus. I mean, not only was he in jail and he wasn't a dad, and now he wants his wife to pay him. Here's the thing. Alimony or maintenance is usually not more than half of the marriage, usually. So you've been married a total of 14 years. It wouldn't be more than 7 years. In your case, you can argue you weren't married that whole time. He was in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy brought on a lot of his problems. You know, his earning potential is nothing, but it's his fault. I don't normally know what they do in crimes, but I would like to call you back when we get our attorney so you don't make any missteps. And then we'd like to try to find you an arbitrator or a mediator. A mediator may not work in this case, may not. But I want to save you money. And if he lawyers up, the lawyer immediately is going to go to court and ask you to pay. And that's the last thing in the world you want. Do you think he will mediate?
I'm not sure. maybe in the beginning, I'm trying to be as civil as I can. So I'll maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay. This guy, are you prepared to pay monthly? Can you afford it even?
No, I can't.
Are you helping your 17-year-old with college?
She hasn't graduated high school yet, but I plan to.
Does he love her enough to know? I mean, is he sensible enough to say, look, I'll just take care of myself? You're not even asking for anything. You're just asking him to take care of himself.
He's a little selfish. I already know he's going to feel like I owe him something.
Why?
He's just selfish like that.
Okay. Do you own your home?
Yes.
God. Do you realize he's going to be in line for half the equity? Now, did you buy it together?
We did.
Jeez. How much is your house worth?
It's probably worth maybe $150, somewhere in there.
And how much do you owe on it?
Just around $93,000.
Around 93. And do you have any down payment money that came from you?
Yes.
Was it your money? Will he dispute it?
He may.
So this guy has done nothing. He's been in jail. He's not a father. He doesn't contribute a dime, but he will expect half of everything.
I'm thinking so. And so I was hoping I could try to get someone to negotiate otherwise.
Right. And that you need a mediator who will teach him the facts of life, or maybe you should just get an attorney, a cutthroat attorney. What kind of savings do you have? I hope.
Not much.
Well, how much?
I don't have any savings.
Okay, good. If you have any cash anywhere, I would stash it. I would get rid of it. There is no order. You can do anything you want with your money. Anything you want. There is nothing duplicitous about it. You're breaking no laws. You can do anything you want. You're not under any order to stay. As soon as you file, there is a freeze. Before you file, you can do anything you want.
Okay.
You can give your money away to someone to hold it. Now, you don't have to tell. You can give it away and they'll give it back to you later. I don't care. That's how you work. Okay. There are women and men who do that all the time to their spouses. They take money before the divorce and then file. There is nothing illegal about it. What's illegal is if you lie. But at the time of filing is when it counts. So if you filed and you have stuff, you got to think about it. In fact, right now you could sell your house. You could sell your house right now and take the money and do something with it. You could set yourself up. I mean, there are things you can do. You need to consult a good attorney. That's what you need to do.
Okay.
So I'm going to work with Bonnie to get you an attorney first, just to talk to. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. I'm Tom Martino.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic.
You realize, Dan, you're shaking your head no.
No,
There are no stays.
See, I thought
there are no stays. And they don't have a look-back period with divorce. There's no look-back period.
Really?
They don't say 2 years before. No, that's why husbands screw their wives all the time that way. They manipulate before they divorce. And there's a stay on finances as soon as you file.
But here, I'm sure both people are on the house. She's not going to be able to sell it without his signature.
Well, yeah, right, if they are.
What if she refinances his house and puts it in a 529 for her daughter?
Well, she can do a lot of stuff.
But he's going to have a lot of stuff. A good attorney will tell her this stuff.
But he is on the title. They said they bought it together. She can't do anything without his signature.
I know. This is a son of a bitch. And
Is he selfish with that? Oh.
No.
What?
No.
I missed out on the very first part. What is the basis of his claim? Is that just the law?
That he's married to her.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I mean, even
he didn't contribute a dime. Doesn't matter.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. How many men say that about their wives?
I was just going to bring that exact same thing up, Tom.
And they get slapped.
Right.
How many? I mean, there are men whose wives do nothing.
Do nothing.
They don't even.
And
have
they don't even have kids.
Right. They do nothing. Now, it's different when your wife gave up her career and raised kids, put you through medical school, and then you say goodbye.
You're right.
But there are cases, I don't believe in community property unless it's a derivative of effort. That's it. And I mean effort, meaning kids and life and wife. But there are women who literally do nothing and get half.
Yeah, but this guy was in jail for 8 years.
So he really did nothing.
Sometime listening to this woman, and that when she said
we're living together,
that just
she should have kicked his ass out then.
Well, like I say, she was trying to be the good person. I really think she's a good lady.
She should get rid of him now.
Right,
she should do it now.
But Tom, and I know you think of it because you just cut it quickly. It's a tough thing if you've never done it before. Divorce. The divorce.
What do you mean? I've done it twice.
Oh, no. I'm saying you cut it quickly and stuff. I'm saying you've been through it, so people say, "Well, geez, why didn't you do it?"
Well, my first one was friendly, and it was both. I mean, we're still friends, but the second one was brutal.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if you've never done that, just looking at that, it seems like, oh, what the hell do I do?
But I should have, and I wouldn't have had all those false accusations.
Sure. But it's I can see where and that's what you say. Why didn't you do it before? Because I'm stupid. That's what she had said. And it's really, she feels, you're right. What do you do? Pile this on when he's in prison? I mean, that's a tough thing. I mean,
how did she know to call you? She's in Arizona.
Because people hear about me on the internet.
There's podcasts.
Also, people
there's
listen to me.
YouTube.
A lot of people listen on
Facebook. They have
our
friends.
audience doubles online.
A lot of people I'll bet you, and Tom will say this, 75% of the people, maybe higher, who call here have never listened to the show.
I listen to the show on the radio, and then sometimes I watch it on the YouTube.
Okay.
And the other day, it was an interesting topic, but the YouTube kept, and maybe it's just my connection.
Stopping?
Yeah, just
sometimes. Does the audio stay? And then
no, just the whole
I don't. Yeah. We've got a much better. Comcast did some updates and everything, so it's not. It shouldn't be as bad now, but I do see camera freeze now and then, but I didn't think the audio does.
And there's a lag.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show.
We got lines open. You can get right through. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. No fooling. You can get right through. And we can help you any way you want, directly, indirectly. Another thing, you can just sound off as well. We call it, and I always give Tom the credit for it. He invented it. Hit and get radio. You get on uninterrupted. 15, well, I've extended it to 30 seconds uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. And I will not nix you. I will not interrupt you. And, of course, we have time delay, and if it's vulgar, I just nix it. So, Ray, what's going on with you, Ray? 303-713-TALK. Ray, what's happening, sir?
Yes, I got flooded out when we had that storm in Colorado Springs last year.
Yes, sir.
And they replaced my carpet in the living room and the hall, but the manager refused to replace the one in the bedrooms.
So this is a rental?
Yes, I'm in an apartment. I'm looking for a house, but I can't find one.
Sure.
I'm 60. I'm going to be 69 years old, but I do have a 5-year-old disabled child.
Wow. Is this your biological child?
Yes.
So a 5-year-old child, and he lives with you, or he or she lives with you?
Yeah, he lives with me and my wife.
And so you're trying to find another place, but what about this flood? He refused to do what?
Replace the carpets in the living room.
Okay, well,
in the bedroom?
Did they clean them properly?
No, they stayed. They didn't get anybody in here to vacuum up the water for a week and a half.
Wait a minute. Your place, how was it flooded?
The storm we had in Springs.
It was from outside water, though.
Yes.
It wasn't a backup.
No, when I opened the door, there was about a foot of water out there. It was already seeping in, and I didn't see it really. And I opened the door, and the water just came in.
Okay.
And
it sat like that for a week and a half.
Yes. And now that I'm turning the heater on, we're getting the smell of mold throughout the apartment. And I looked under the bathroom sink that's right under the...
You can see the mold?
Yes. Right... The vent where it sucks up the air for the furnace.
Wow.
Is right at the door of the bathroom that's full mold.
Okay.
I was smelling something.
Right.
You know,
How is it? Okay, are you guys having any respiratory problems?
I am, and the child is too. And he's got autism. He's a special needs child.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Why don't you just evict yourself, move? In other words, if they don't fix it, you can move. Are they thinking it's been a long time ago they took care of it, and do you bring it up and they say no, don't worry about it?
Well, I brought it up last week again when I started.
What's the response? What's the response?
I talked to the maintenance man and I reported to the office.
What's the response?
None.
Zero. They ignore you.
Yes, but the maintenance man that was here, the supervisor that was here, no longer works here. But I'm sure, if I had to go to court or whatever, he'd verify.
Do you have his number?
I've got his number.
Okay, I'm going to need his name and number. Another thing, Ray, you need to have some tests done of some kind. You do, unfortunately.
I've tried looking in the phone book, see if I could find an agency or something here.
No, I'm not talking about an agency. I'm talking about buying a mold test kit and putting it out and having your mold tested. Having parts per million, and it's going to cost you something. It's not going to be free.
I understand.
It's not going to cost a lot, but it's going to cost something. We need to prove there's a problem before we go hawking. Not all mold is toxic mold. All mold has some degree of toxicity, okay? But it's not all deadly, and it's not going to kill you, but it's a pain in the butt. It's not something we want to breathe. But what I'm saying, Ray, is a lot of people exaggerate the problem, but in order not to exaggerate and in order to present this guy with facts and maybe go to the health department, and they may force him to fix it, depending on how rigid they are and how they enforce habitability standards. If your air is not safe, we can get some. I'll bet you the health department will say, look, we're going to red tag, we're going to, you know what I mean? We're going to condemn this place, and you have to fix it, or you're not going to rent it out. I mean, I would say that would be the first thing I would do. Let's get a test and see where we stand. That's the very first thing.
Where do I get a test?
Okay, that's what we have to figure out. We have. Let's see. We'll figure it out, okay? We'll figure it out. I know that they have plenty of mold kits. They're not all expensive, and that's the first thing. Once we find out you have a problem, we'll go to the landlord and say, look, you may not want to clean this or fix it or rip out the carpet to do something for him, but you're going to have to do it one way or the other because we're going to go to the health department. So they're going to have a situation if the air is unsafe. Here's what the problem is going to be, Ray. If it's not toxic and not dangerous, then it's going to be a matter of aesthetics. Well, a little more than aesthetics. It's comfort. Do you have a case? Probably not. I mean, the laws are very loose when it comes to habitability. If something is not dangerous and you just don't like it because you have an irritability, or, there are people with environmental sensibilities, a judge may not see it your way.
I understand.
And the most you could do is maybe negotiate a way out. How long is your lease for?
That's another thing. I've been here, I'm going on my third year. After the first year, they told me I didn't need a lease no more.
Okay, that means it's month to month. That's right. It's month to month. What was the...
now,
yes.
When I went and brought this up, they threw a lease at me and told me that I have to sign it by the 7th.
Did you sign it?
No.
Don't sign it. Don't sign it. Don't sign it. Because you need the power to get out of there. And if they say they're going to evict you, you better be ready to leave. And I would, Ray. I mean, I know it's a pain. You've been living there for how long now?
I'm going on 3 years.
Yeah, it sucks, but... Is there anything around to rent? I know you want to buy, but is there anything around to rent?
I can't buy. I'm trying to find a rental, and I can't find one.
I thought you were trying to find a house, you said.
No, I'm trying to find a rental house because my child needs a backyard to play with. He's got severe autism, and he can't be around other people very much, and, he's got to have a good fenced yard.
Okay. Is he in a program for autism?
We're trying to get him in. See, the thing is, they were in South America. My wife, I married her over there, and through immigration stuff, it took 5 years to get her over here.
Wow.
And she just got here a couple weeks ago. And,
Doing it the right way, you almost get punished, don't you, Ray?
Yes, you do.
Man. Okay, so hold on. Let's take it one step at a time. But you have to be prepared to find a place. I don't know what to do about that, Ray, as far as that goes. Maybe Stephanie Thomas down there. She's our real estate expert down in the Springs area. If she knows of places for rent, we'll put in a call to her. But Ray, right now, I'm going to put Dan in charge, or Deputy Clint in charge of finding a test kit. So let's hand Ray over to Deputy Clint. And then let's one step at a time, okay, Clint? Let's do the test kit. Jeff, what's going on, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Not too much. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Sometimes I have trouble with this phone.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm calling for a coworker of mine, Tom. You've helped me out with a couple of car questions before, and you did me a good job, and I think this gal really needs some help.
Okay.
She bought a car from, I believe it's Crossroads Motors or Crossroads
She
Auto
bought the
Sales or
car.
something like that.
She bought it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she applied for financing.
Did she take the car?
Did she? Yes.
She drove the car off the lot. She had a buy contract.
Correct.
Okay.
And she put $800 down on the car.
Gotcha.
And they told her that within 10 days they would have final approval for her financing. If not, that they would notify her. Well, she had the car for 3 weeks. Then they called her and said indeed her financing did not go through.
Okay. In the state of Colorado, they're allowed to charge her for use of the car, but they are limited to 10 days. Okay? Now, it used to be...
Had it for 3 weeks.
Well, that's okay. But they can't charge her for 3 weeks. They try, but they can only charge her for 10 days. But they can charge her if they signed a bailment agreement. If they did not, they can't. There's a bailment agreement which says, in the event financing doesn't go through, you have to pay so much a day and so much a mile. What dealership is this?
I believe it was Crossroads, she told me.
Crossroads what?
I live in Colorado Springs, so I'm not real familiar
Where does
with
she
the Denver
live?
area, but she lives in Greeley, but bought the car in Denver.
Okay, so the place is in Denver.
Yeah, it's called, I believe it's
All right.
Crossroads Automotive, I believe. And
How
she
much?
was afraid
So
to call you,
basically,
so that's why I'm calling.
did she? That's okay. Did she turn the car in?
Yeah, they told her to bring the car back,
And she
when
did.
She took the car back, they kept her $800.
Well, they
applied.
applied well, they're kind of correct. It depends on what she signed. Again, they still have to limit it. I believe it's 10 days. It could be 12. I think it's 10-day bailment. It's called a bailment agreement. But there are other sneaky things we might be able to do. Within this contract, that dealer may have screwed up and put themselves down as the lender. They may be forced to take her payment and give her.
I thought the way she talked that it was a pay here or go here kind of thing.
Does she have all of the paperwork?
Yes.
Can you
I
get?
asked her that. I said,
We
"You
need
have
to
every
get
piece of contract, correct?"
We need to
And
get
she
the
said,
whole
"Yeah."
deal, okay?
Yeah, and then I guess they screwed up on her odometer mileage too. The car had just over 125,000 on it, and they sent the odometer in at 124,000.
That doesn't matter. I mean,
that's what I told
if
her.
it was if they had marked it way down, I mean, that's a mistake. I mean, so here's the deal.
What I thought.
I mean, 1,000 miles won't do them one good one way or the other. I mean, if they made a mistake. We really.
It's like it could have been a mistake, or it's the difference between.
Well, why would
gas
anyone
and $2.
intentionally put the miles at 124 instead of 125? Even if they did, I mean, what's the difference? It's not 125,000. No. You said I had 124,000 miles. Come on. I mean, the practicality of that is nil. So here's what I want you to do. Get me the copies of the paperwork, and Suzanne will tell you how to get that to us. Okay? And then what we'll do is pick this deal apart to see what we have. And if she signed a bailment, we'll limit it to 10 days. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Folks, we have wide open lines. We have Mark Trenner here, an intellectual property attorney. If you want to talk to him, we have other things to discuss. You can get right through, including your 30 seconds of ranting or raving, of course. You can say some good stuff as well. At 303-713-TALK.
Test kits everywhere. Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, they're everywhere.
expected, the Fed will not be raising interest rates.
Because if they recently put 124, when they take it back and charge them, they charge them just days or they charge them mileage each. So there, they just added another $1,000, 1,000 miles onto it. If they said 124,
that was the reason. Okay, hold on. So they said she had. Oh, wait a minute. So they said there was 124,000. So automatically she was.
She just drove her 1,000 miles.
Oh, I never thought of the bailment part. You're right.
I didn't know.
I can interrupt me,
well,
man.
See, because I didn't know if they
I
do
was
that,
talking
they
about.
do like a
I was talking about the odometer tampering part of it. But you should have brought up the rental because that is why they did that. That's exactly why they did it. They were thinking if anything goes south, we want to keep this money.
I like that. I just didn't know how they do the
I can't believe that I never even thought of that. That is exactly, you're right. So let's say 20 cents a mile times, some of that even more than that, times 1,000. Holy crap.
So it's time to put it back on your list.
I'll bet you they charge more than that. These guys are.
Look, there's a Crossroads in Loveland. Crossroads Hyundai in Loveland. But he doesn't really know for sure who it is.
Temporal scanner thermometer. One big crash going to slow you down on the Mile of High City Drive, eastbound I-70, approaching Havana. Looks like the left lanes are blocked due to a crash. Injuries are involved, so it's a serious wreck. Traffic backed up to Colorado on eastbound I-70. If you can, just avoid that stretch for now. Seeing a little bit of delay on the westbound side.
How much time do I have?
The highways up
You missed teaching?
Okay.
No, my son teaches, and he was just in town last weekend. We were talking about how teaching has changed so since then.
But you were secondary, right?
No, college.
Right. Okay, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Not secondary, but I mean high school.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't go near that. But he teaches at the university level, and we were just talking. One example was kids who get, and they probably, I guess, need it, but they get extra time for the exam because they have some kind of challenge or something like that.
Maybe I'm being really ignorant, but every time I found the mold straight forest water on it, it was that. It was just gone.
And it's generational, because I was thinking coming back in this building, I'm glad I'm not a boss anymore, because all of the stuff that is so different, I'm an old-fashioned, obviously, kind of guy.
So you say different as far as you gotta watch what you say and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Since it does as much, can it do
The world, but my folks said this, your folks said this. The world is just different today than it
unless
was
it's an ISFA rating, they're not going to need the ADL
40, 50 years
for
ago. But I was interested talking to my son about teaching.
So I think the plane might do everything they need
because
training.
No, it is.
I was teaching back.
They all do everything. I'm saying they don't have a physical ADF or a physical. They don't have a physical ADF for VOR.
Oh,
but they have all the technology.
In fact, it's so much easier
And that's how WAAS
does in a file cabinet here.
What they do with
And I just hate to read
is they go to an airfield
on the computer.
and where there's
wrong,
so ILS.
Right. In fact, I printed out because I made different computer. You did make notes.
It's a virtual ILS. I airports where there is no ILS.
Used to it, but man, making stuff on it.
They can literally put a procedure in there, so now virtually all airports are ILS.
Doing what I'm doing.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303
713 Talk 303-713-8255. Kenny, what's going on with you, Kenny? Welcome.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I listen to your show all the time.
Thank you, man.
Long story short, I have a para account that I have had. Well, I've had it for a long time, but I quit the job associated with para, kept the para. And
Were you a teacher?
No, sir.
What were you?
I worked for the Department of Revenue.
Okay, and so this is a state retirement plan for those listening. And what's going on? Is the state or federal in your case?
It's state in my case.
Okay, so go ahead.
And so I think, let's see, I quit my job in 2015 in August.
Yes.
And in it was either 15 or 16, and if it's 16, I don't think this matters, and I hate to waste your time, but if
go ahead.
15, a young lady moved in, and it appears we may now be on the outs, and she keeps threatening to come after my para.
Why? How? She can't.
And that's what I want.
Are you married?
No, but we do share a checking account.
Well, that doesn't matter. Here's what matters. A common law marriage can be, people think 6 months. It can be 1 hour, okay? It's if you and a woman hold yourself out mutually to be married, and you can prove it. You put her on your insurance and you said, my wife, you're done, you're married. If you introduce her, this is my wife. If she agrees, she's your wife. It doesn't matter how long it was. Now, if it's a joke and you do it at a costume party or whatever, or you lie about it for your parents one time, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about holding yourself out as married, where people would say, yeah, that's his wife. What?
Did he file taxes together?
Good. That's another. That's not required, but it's perfect if you did. I mean, no, not for you. It's not for her.
No, we did not file taxes together.
Did she file single or married? If she filed single, you see, because even filing separately, it's married filing separately as opposed, right? Isn't that on the tax form itself? So you could use that as evidence, and you could subpoena that. So what do you think? How do you think she filed?
I'm certain she's filed. I think we've been together like I said, I can't remember if it's 2 years or 3 years now, but I'm almost certain she's always filed as single.
And here's the other thing, Kenny. It doesn't matter if you didn't. That'll show you weren't in mutual agreement. She could hold herself out as married and introduce you to as many people as possible. It doesn't matter. If you did not acknowledge it, it has to be mutual. Okay?
Right.
Now listen. Right. Kenny, this is a bad sign. Is she still with you?
Yes.
Get her the hell out. No, this is a bad, get her the hell out. It's a bad sign. Even if you want to eventually get back together. No, get her, you know what? Take your chances, lady. You're gone.
I can't. I don't have any way to get her out. She has no money, and I'm just starting another job.
Okay. Who rents the place?
I do.
All on your name, right?
That's solely in my name.
Are you saying Are you saying you can't get her out because you're too nice and you don't want to throw her out? Is that what you're saying? Because I would do eviction right now.
No, because she claims, and this is why I'm asking the question. She claims because she pays half the bills.
Well, she is a tenant. I said an eviction, but you'd have to have a reason to evict her.
Right. Well, physical abuse would be one, I would think, but that's
yes, it would be. Hold on. Physical abuse of who?
Me.
Call the cops. Kenny, listen, man, get a restraining order. Why aren't you protecting yourself? I'm not kidding.
I know you're not kidding. My point is does she have any claim because she's not on the lease to say that she pays half the bills?
Yes.
She can. No,
she's definitely a resident. I'm not even disputing that.
Right, because in the lease it claims that all people living in the unit must be on the lease.
Okay, then hold on, Kenny. You have what's called, you have form and you have substance, okay? Let me explain. The form is the lease. The substance is she's a tenant. Even if the landlord says she's not a tenant, the law, because of the form, says, not the form, because of the substance, says she is. The form, it's substance over form, okay? Substance over form. Now, here's the deal. The form, however, plays to your advantage. You're going to go to the landlord and you're going to say, Mr. Landlord, this woman has been paying half the bills and she is claiming she's a resident, but she's not on the lease. What should we do? If he wants to put her on the lease, she would have to qualify. And she won't. So he can say she's not allowed to be on the lease. Kenny, there are a million ways to get rid of her if you want. You could also just leave and find a new place and say, okay, you can stay here, I'm leaving. She can't come with you. You know what? I detest people who do this.
I actually said that, Tom. I said to her, I'll leave. We'll put you on the lease. That way.
No. You're not going to put her on the lease. You're just leaving. It is your lease, and you can terminate it. You tell the landlord, I am terminating my lease. Well, when is the lease up?
It comes due in May, and you have to give 2 months' notice to not have to pay any. You pay your 2 months.
Then listen. You've been with her this long. You're going to lay a plan out. You're going to terminate the lease at the end of, you're going to give notice and terminate the lease. Let her know you're doing it. If she says, I don't want to terminate, you have to evict me, you can say, no, I don't. We're just ending the lease. You're not getting evicted. Listen, you are in the driver's seat. Kenny, you got to grow some balls is what I'm telling you, okay? That's what I'm telling you. You got to do it.
Goes, she can't get into any of that either.
I am saying what I said. The only way she can get into that is with a divorce as a wife.
Right, and she's not. So okay.
Well, that's up to you. I'm not telling you that. I am saying if you did not hold yourself out to be married, she would have a hell of a burden of proof.
That is correct. There's never, ever been that.
And you're going to subpoena her taxes. Listen, why is she being such a jerk?
Well, there's a lot going on with that, and I don't want to waste your time.
No, you're not wasting my time. I want to know why. Why did she suddenly turn ugly? What's going on?
Well, her mother's dying of cancer.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And so that's part of it. But beyond that, she was physically abused as a child.
Oh, I feel bad for her now, yeah.
Yes, I do too. And also, she was with a bad man that she married twice.
God, I feel bad again.
Yeah.
And her mother's dying. Oh, man. But, Kenny, you still have to look out for yourself. But I do.
I do, because it's wearing me out and it's sucking the life and energy
out. Now, how long have you been together?
I believe it's 2 years, and that's what I was trying to call my friend about to see when she moved in.
Why? What difference does that make?
What legitimacy she had to try to go after Para or go after...
Kenny, years doesn't matter. Don't listen to, jailhouse lawyers. Don't listen to people who think they know what they're talking about.
Yep.
Listen to people who think they know everything. That's me.
Right.
Kenny, listen.
She's very selfish, and so I'm tired of it, and I just got to get out.
Well, Kenny, you're going to do it in a very, very non-emotional way, unlike me. You're going to do this. You're going to simply terminate your lease and move. Get a new place. She's not coming with you. She has no claim to you. You don't have to take her with you. You're not evicting her. It's beautiful. You're the one on the lease. You don't have to evict her because you're terminating the lease.
Right.
But you are going to give her a courtesy notice anyway. You're saying my lease is being terminated at the end of May, and you're going to tell her that in May or whenever you want to tell her. And listen, if she gets violent at all, you record with your phone. Record, even if it's just audio, and call the police.
Right.
Do not stand for it. Do not yell at her. Do not get angry at her. Trust me, you need a woman like that out of your life. And I feel badly for her that she was abused and that her mother is dying. It's terrible. And Kenny, you may even want to throw her a few dollars and say, here, leave. I'm leaving, you leave. 303-713-TALK. Now, Doug, we're going to come back to you. You have a question for Mark Trenner. I beg that you stay because we have a lot of time to discuss it. And anyone else who wants to call in, if you have a comment on Kenny and his situation, do you see how dangerous it can be to have a live-in? 303-713-TALK.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic.
Right now, the big trouble spot in town is I-70 and...
He does have to go.
Eastbound I-70.
No, I know.
Alimony never went anywhere, did it?
Oh, yeah, for gay people. Before they were married, yeah, that was all Palomar.
Yeah. But I mean, among couple, I heard of some cases in California they were trying.
So, Mark, you do got a new, I was looking at your website.
No, we're in the process of updating. We just got it back from the designer.
Great. Send it to Dan@troubleshooter.com if you would. So, you know how the troubleshooter is Dan, D-A-N.
Oh, okay.
That reminds me of something. I've been having people send to live at Troubleshooter. There's also help at Troubleshooter.
Okay, so I'm under the help.
Yeah.
Suzanne and Daphne are under the live. Suzanne sees everything.
Okay.
I just see help. Daphne just sees
so I do need to go to live so it gets on her screen so I can pick it up.
Sure.
Okay, got it.
runs 62 and older.
Or you can have it go through help and just tell me that where it is.
That's fine.
Cash flow tight? Are you
Make sure we're doing the
retiring
wrong
or
one.
experiencing a life change? And do you own your own home? Consider a reverse mortgage from American
I
Finance.
work out in
Reverse
the
mortgages
mornings,
are loans that pay
and
monthly by using the equity in your home.
and I
They also
have
protect your
earphones, and
spouse
I'm
from possibly
listening through
losing
my
your home if you
phone
pass
to the
away.
broadcast.
And FHA
Okay.
ensures
Then
that
I
you
go out to
never
the
go over what
car,
your house is worth. Hey, it
and
means
it's
you can
a
hear the
different.
Oh, you bet.
benefit
You
immediately
bet.
from no
But
monthly
The
mortgage
radio
payments.
is live.
Tax-free money. All
I'm sorry, 17-second delay.
Oh,
Everything on Facebook, YouTube, you don't know. It could be a half-hour delay. It just depends on Facebook or YouTube, how they pick it up. And I couldn't tell you why it's like that, but it does, and different days, delays different.
Because I'm listening to an interesting story, and then I get the car.
But remember, you could go to, and always download the podcast, just the radio version too.
Oh, okay.
You know, or like say YouTube or whatever and stuff.
That leads me to a question. On smart TV, shouldn't we be able to download the YouTube right onto the TV?
Yeah, you can YouTube on Smart TV.
We do it all the time.
Down though, wait.
They stream. You stream it.
Stream it.
Yeah, you don't download it.
Yeah, you can't I don't know how.
There are some TVs that'll let you download to an external device.
Well,
you can do it. But you can definitely stream anything you want. This poor guy.
and you're right. Palimony never went anywhere, right?
No.
And like Dan said, the gay people were. But I know for a while there, they were talking about. I know there's cases, but I guess they never went or became anything.
There were cases in the media. It all comes down to common law marriage.
Yeah.
There's no palimony. That's what they call it.
Well, did they have the gay people before they were allowed to be married? Isn't that really where palimony?
I don't know. No, that came from Lee Marvin and a woman that lived with him.
Okay.
That's where the first case came from with palimony. I don't know about gay people and how they. I don't know how they did it. I don't know.
Probably just a harder case. Everything's case by case, right?
Yeah. I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Douglas has a question for Trenner. Then we have some comments on Kenny and his girlfriend. Douglas, go ahead, sir. Yes. Thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question.
You know, that's a good question. When you buy art, can you duplicate it?
No, you're actually just buying that piece. The artist still owns the copyright, but copyright doesn't last forever.
If it's the original and it's Leonardo da Vinci.
But copyright doesn't last forever. So
would Da
more
Vinci
than,
would somebody can it be passed on the copyright?
Yeah, I mean it's the property right.
Well, who owns the copyright?
Originally the artist who created it.
Well, Da Vinci,
and then
what?
they can but how long ago was that?
400.
In the 1500s.
Yeah, so it's public domain.
Okay.
Okay.
Copyrights are about 100 years. There's different rules if you're a company creating it or an individual, but roughly about 100 years. If you're talking 400 years, it's public domain.
Even though this person just purchased this.
Yeah, I mean they purchased.
Well, yeah, but they have the right to reproduce it, is what you're saying.
Well, anybody does.
Anybody does.
Yeah, it's public.
Okay.
It's in the public domain.
Does the same hold true? Obviously, maybe you're familiar with Warhol and his Campbell soup cans.
Yes.
Now they allowed him to do that. They were okay with that. But if I wanted,
are you sure of that? I don't know. I think that's true. Did he get Campbell's soup? Okay. All right.
I think he did it, and then they were so. It was good for their business.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't a political statement. It was just art at the time. You know, nothing more or less. So it helped their sales, so they were okay with it.
Yes.
But like in today's world, like a French's mustard.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you make a painting of something that is trademarked or copyrighted?
A painting that I would resell. I'm not saying
like Kenny. Okay,
yeah.
Let's just take a ketchup bottle.
Yeah, you can because you're not trading. You're making a painting. You're not making.
Wait a minute now.
Ketchup.
If
you're
I
not selling ketchup.
If I make a painting of a Heinz tomato ketchup,
yeah, you can do that. You can take a
picture
of it.
Really?
It's the same thing, taking a
Really?
picture and painting, right?
But what if they're designed...
But you're not using it to sell ketchup. If you're using it to sell ketchup, that's a problem.
Now listen, what if I take the Nike swoosh and I make a painting because it's such a beautiful swoosh or a sculpture? I can sell it.
Yeah, you can.
Are you sure?
Because you're not selling shoes.
There
selling
people
a
would be...
sculpture.
They'd be all over me.
You're
They'd be all over. They'd call
or
it
a picture
infringement.
or a painting. No.
Really?
Yeah.
But if I put that picture on...
So they have trademark rights. Trademark designates source or origin of goods or services. You're not selling those goods or services, so you're not infringing on their trademark.
I find it hard to believe, but I believe Mark Trenner. So,
yes, I do. Okay.
Anyway, so I hope that answered your question, Douglas.
It really does.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Okay, what's your comment, Tony, on Kenny, who had a girlfriend he's been living with for 2 years? She's threatening to take his retirement and to say they're married, and they're not. Go ahead.
I like the advice you gave me. It's great. Just
grow.
The last piece where you said throw her a few bucks.
Yeah.
If she's going after his para, I wouldn't throw her any money because a sly attorney would use that as him. Could use that to say, hey, he feels guilty or he feels that he owes her something, and build a case on it.
You know what? Maybe that's so, although it wouldn't change the facts. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous world. Thank you for that. Karen, what do you think about Kenny and his girlfriend? I would like a female perspective.
I think you gave him very good advice, Tom, and your last caller also gave very good advice.
Not to give the money, yeah.
Right. Don't make it so you're somebody that you're obligated to. My advice to Kenny is to get some help about his codependency of this person.
Wow. It did sound a little weird, didn't it?
You offer advice to addicts, and you offer a helpline to addicts.
Yes.
People that are involved with addicts, as you well know, get this very soft, very dependent part of them involved. There's a free program out there. It's Al-Anon.
You know, I've heard of I've heard of that. I've heard of people having literally codependency problems to a point where they bring it on. I mean, they cannot get away from that.
Problem.
Yeah.
Yes. And Kenny sounds symptomatic. It's free. You can go to all the AA sites, and amongst them is Al-Anon, free meetings. He can get some free help.
Did you have experience with that, Karen?
Yes.
You were codependent with someone?
Yes.
And it was their problem, but you absorbed it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And you can learn skills, how to recognize it in yourself, how to, reorganize and get yourself back on track and stay on track. Addicts are very charming, as you well know, and they suck you in so fast. And you feel so desperate for them.
Wow.
You get involved in their problems, and Kenny has all the symptoms. He needs to get some help.
And then you heard the previous caller with that guy, with the woman whose husband got out of prison and expects half of everything.
She needs to go to the same classes.
And wants to be supported. He wants to be supported by her and wants to have. Not only that, but you notice they have something in common, these bad people or addicts or whatever. They threaten. They have no strength, and they do the threatening.
Yeah, she's threatening to take his para. She has no rights to it. She knows it, but she makes the threat. And these people are soft-hearted and wonderful, but they're misguided. They need to get some help. They need direction. You should get somebody on from Al-Anon.
You know what? That is a great...
Do
you know what? You have a great idea, Karen. Suzanne, we should do a show, not kidding, on codependency. Because I know that I probably have some of those traits. Really, and I've been taken advantage of.
Don't we all?
She was hitting the nail on the head. Thank you, Karen. And when we have this show, Karen, you can call and give your personal story as to what happened to you. That would be great. All right. And you said you had a codependency situation there, Clint?
Married 2 attorneys.
Well, what does that have to do with it? They're not addicts.
And I wonder why they took me to the cleaners.
Okay. Now, Mark Trenner, attorney at law, intellectual property attorney, 720-221-3708. 720-221-3708. Thanks for being here. He's on our referral list, referrallist.com. Hey, Bill Anthus, thank you. Longtime listener, common man. Feel free to come in anytime. Save all your problems for me.
2008.
Oh, man. I married 2 women that wasn't really thinking.
Throw some balls.
You know, really flaky people are really hard to get away from. God, they want to make all their problems your problem.
Well, for nice people. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, send that and stuff. I appreciate it. I always learn a ton when you're here.
You know what, though? It's frustrating because it is difficult, you know. And I always present you with impossible situations. I know.
Sometimes I have to think.
I know. I just say, well, what about this and what about that?